So, on that note, Jonathan, take us in.
Previously on Darkest Heresy, or Dark Heresy, or Darker Heresy.
One of the heresies.
One of the heresies.
All of the heresies are dark.
On a variety of different flavors of heresy.
Yes.
50 Shades of Heresy.
50 Shades of Heresy, yeah.
Siegfried!
Shades of Heresy!
That's too much heresy.
With the
Only for the dedicated heretic.
Three heretics and a baby. No, that's something else. Right, Siegfried chased after his prey, but then he was elsewhere. First,
Land of Khajiits.
on Granithor, stalking the woman in the red dress which he had given her. It had been worth more than she, and twice what her husband earned in a year. And he had released her, tracked her through the forest. His first human kill, so many years ago. That woman had been nobody, just a peasant from a nearby village. No one would miss her. Her skin was pale and ashen, her hair lank and greasy. She was worthless. There were dozens more like her in that village alone, and there were so many villages. And as he rounded a tree coming up behind the woman in the red dress, he found himself elsewhere again. The deck of a starship. Her starship. The reckless Endeavour. The vessel that brought him to this world, to Desilium. Hi, Collie. That 1.5 km long sword-class frigate that had once belonged to Inquisitor Staven Arcturus, and now it was hers. Lady Antonia Machenko. Inquisitor Mesmeron. Was this real? Was it a waking dream? A hallucination? Is Siegfried finally losing his mind entirely?
Probably.
Since arriving in the mansion, Siegfried has experienced some unusual things. Visions, dreams, flashbacks. He has remembered things from his childhood, and it all began with the woman in the painting. Or the girl, rather. He first saw her after staring at the portraits that run along the landing of the mansion's first floor. Portraits of a man, dark-skinned, handsome, regal, and of a woman, pale-skinned, golden hair, an expression of cold irritation on her face, as though she begrudged having posed for the painting. Inquisitor Arcturus and Mesmeron. According to Seraph, the two of them had been married. Tut, tut. Naughty, naughty. That goes against the doctrines of the Holy Ordos. Still, at least they were both sterilised. Can't have children of psychers running around the galaxy unchecked now, can we? Each portrait was surrounded by smaller picts and paintings of groups of people. Clearly the family and ancestors of these two key figures at the heart of the display. In some of these pictures, the two Inquisitors could be seen at earlier times of their life, looking younger. There was even some that showed Mesmeron as a child, and in a couple of those pictures, there were two of her. Two identical young girls, one smiling, happy, the other one wearing a dark scowl upon her features. But there were none of the two girls together after adolescence. Just the scowling girl remained. The girl with the darkness in her eyes, with shadows lurking just behind her shoulder. And when Siegfried focused on these pictures, he had found himself elsewhere. In a dark chamber of stone, pillars etched with strange runes stretching up to a lofty ceiling lost in the darkness somewhere above. And a figure had emerged from that darkness. A woman, crooked, withered, ancient. But the hair, that golden hair. And this figure, a hunchback, had spoken with two voices at once. One a woman's, racked by pain and fear and suffering. And the other, a young man's voice, but croaky, distorted, as though there was something wrong with his vocal cords. "Tell her," the two voices had said in unison. "Tell her we need her." The vision had ended with the sight of another woman entering the chamber, with shoulder-length white hair, dressed in the garb of the Adeptus Sororitas. "That's enough, Persephone," she had barked, before loosing a round from a bolt gun. And the second time Siegfried encountered this woman in this waking dream, this crippled hunchback woman, was again after viewing the portraits, although this time she was naked, chained to the wall of a dank cell by her one remaining ankle. The hump on her back was clearly visible now, and it was no mere deformity, no simple growth. It was the body of a young boy, fused with her own form, as though two beings shared a spine. And Siegfried has been plagued by other visions too. The soup, for example. Rashor's soup. Siegfried's favourite! That was his first thought when he encountered this soup. But for a moment, he had a moment of doubt. Had he even ever eaten this soup before? He wasn't sure. A number of times it has been made for him by Missy. He ate it at the fancy dinner where Mesmeron entertained Lady Pagni, and each time it has triggered a memory. A memory of being a young lad with his mother and father in a crude wooden dwelling. What? No, that can't be right, can it, Siegfried?
No.
A memory of playing hide and seek with another lad. In a dark alcove within a barn was where he made his hiding place. But then he saw something there. 3 men dragging a woman in from the storm outside. She was sobbing, her simple red dress ragged and filthy. They untied her hands. "You have been chosen, my dear. You should consider yourself fortunate." And she was released, fleeing into the barn, into the forest. One of the men bounded after her like a predator, fluidly switching between running on all fours like a beast and upright like a man. And the moonlight caught his face for a moment. Skin like oiled metal, rippling as though alive, like 1,000 tiny metallic worms. And you shrieked in horror. "Siegfried!" gasped one of the 2 men that remained in the barn. "Oh, throne, no!" Your father moved towards you, scooping you up into his arms, ignoring the reek and dampness of your trousers as he cradled you. The other man looked on from the barn door. He wore the finery of a noble, unlike this man, who held you like a son who wore the rags of a peasant. And the nobleman at the door looked at you with disdain upon his face. The familiar, disapproving look of your father. What? And there was another vision, brought on by Missy giving you a flask full of that same soup. You were young, so very young. Your mother, father, eating thin, watery soup in a crude cabin of wool. And then you, mother, father, older brother too, eating a richer soup in a lavish banquet hall. Father lectures brother about business. You are too young to understand. Mother's belly is swollen with sister. And then another meal. Later, you are older. Father speaks with a man. He's important somehow. He works for the eulogists, whatever that is. Father makes a deal with him. A deal to allow something called the Amarathine Syndicate to open a branch of their enterprises on Granithor. Home. A world where the dead are buried. And now, in the present, as you catch up with Lady Esmeralda Eldon, 3rd cousin twice removed to Lady Leonandra Pagni, another vision. Lady Antonia Machenko, Inquisitor Mesmeron, stood before you, Siegfried, gazing out of the dorsal observation cupola of the reckless Endeavour, viewing the roiling, seething madness of the raw warp itself. And she spoke to you, Siegfried. She told you that she had seen what you were, what you had been, and what you would become. That day when she forced herself into your mind when you first met. She told you she had nearly ended you that day. But she recognized something in you. She felt a kinship with you. And she told you of her decision to allow you a choice. To wear the Kemrig willingly, or don't. She'd been pleased with your decision to wear the Kemrig. And she told you she had need for weapons, for killers, but also for people who knew when to stay their hand. And she told you that this communication, this communion, was a psychic link installed in your mind and triggered by the act of activating your Kemrig's full capacity for the first time. And that you were speaking with her not across hundreds of light years, but by some sort of implanted memory. Just like she accused Varak and Soldavan of doing to her. You have become the Eviscerator, she said. A name taken from a deadly weapon, which takes remarkable skill to wield without causing harm to oneself. I thought it quite apt, she said. And then another vision, drip, drip of blood, dripping from the lolling head of a peasant woman, held by her ankles in a fist made of metallic, writhing worms. The hooded figure leans in, crunch of bone and tearing of meat. Blood, 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 pooling at the feast. The feet of the beast, and the two men who stand with it. One turns and sees you hiding in the shadows in the corner of the barn again. "Siegfried!" cries your father, dressed in the rags of a peasant. "For God's sake, Siegfried, not again!" The beast hisses, its face a writhing mass of metallic worms. The second man watches from the door, dressed again in the finery of a noble. His face is that of your father's. There are two of them, Siegfried. Two fathers. One a peasant, one the wealthy noble you remember. What is happening, Siegfried? Is this real? What are these memories? Why is your father dressed in rags one moment, in the finery of a noble in another? Your family are gone, Siegfried, purged for your actions. Your execution of Lady Solessa de Vord on Iacanthos. That act led to the de Vords declaring a vendetta against the von Mortons, and by the ancient laws of Granathor, the de Vords were free to pursue that vendetta by any means they desired. They killed them all, Siegfried. Your mother, your father, your brother, even the servants, even the family pets.
That's the worst part.
That was what Seraph told you all those
Mr.
months ago.
Bigglesworth!
But did the de Vords know, Siegfried? Did the de Vords know about all the family pets? Even the ones that weren't kept in the stables? I do not have the answers, said Inquisitor Antonio Masmeron, in this triggered, implanted memory. Your path, however, leads you to those answers. Upon the world of bone you shall stand once more, and you shall not stand alone. Remember your task. Serve me. Serve him. And when the time comes, I shall stand with you. Snapping back to the here and now, to Desolium, Siegfried hauled Lady Esmeralda Eldon back up from the ledge she attempted to scramble over. "What did you want?" she asked of you. "Money? That's a good start," said the last of the von Mortons. "But mainly, I want information on your family." And thus began the curious relationship between the last of one bloodline and a traitor to another. Meanwhile, the boys tracked Lectra Zun, leader of the gang who run this establishment. She had cornered the Psyker woman, the other guest in the establishment. "You betrayed me, Magda. You told me we would win," Lectra said to the Psyker woman. "No, please, Lectra. I told you they were coming. I said it looked likely you would defeat them, but the future is never certain." "Two women and a tech-head, wielding vermin like soldiers, you said?" Lectra accused her. "You said nothing about a bloke with a fucking power sword." "I didn't see him, Lectra. Please, please." Lectra Zun detonated the woman's collar, showering the area with bone and brains before fleeing the area, and the boys gave chase. They traced her as far as an ancient, filthy, rusting sewage pipeline, but Lectra realized she was being followed and gunned them down with a burst from her pistol. Back in the hat block, Emmy press-ganged Castinus Frelk into coming with you. The local doc didn't seem too bothered. He was just swapping one set of tyrants for another, he said. Plex gathered intel from the various cogitators and security systems, while Emmy swept the area for more physical loot. Firearms, blades, and the armour of Marcia Marcium, Lectra's second-in-command. Meanwhile, the new doc stapled Serena's gaping wound closed. Pause for Johnny.
Yeah.
It was not a particularly neat form of surgery, but it was effective. It stopped her from bleeding out. Siegfried, you are currently +10 agility. You confirm auto confirm criticals. And you have rending. In about 12 minutes, that's going to wear off, and you are going to become fatigued. Plex, you're fine. Jerry is dead. The boys are dead. Serena is on 2 levels of fatigue, -10 all stats. Emmy is fine. With the gangers dispatched, the facility looted and tagged with gang signs, Plex, Serena and Emmy, along with their new friend Castinus Frelk, head to the shuttle to be eventually joined by Siegfried. Lady Esmeralda Eldon is now an informant for Siegfried's power play. In exchange for her life, she has willingly stepped down from the Order of Ascension and can willingly, or not, provide knowledge on the seedier activities of other members of her house. So she will be providing bonuses to your power play rolls from now on.
Excellent stuff.
Siegfried is currently in the lead with 9 power play points, but it's not a competition. It's not a race.
It's not a race.
With your mission accomplished, would you like to return to Spire Pagni?
Yes. I'll probably need to recover because I'm about to crash.
Yeah, you're running out fumes and you're also a bit fucked up.
Yeah.
Just a second, I'm just going to grab a drink. Okay. Back aboard the shuttle, Plex guides the vehicle up and away from District 514-8, nimbly easing the craft through a series of tight turns before passing through an opening in the hive's skin wall, barking sharply, bringing the nose up, spiraling up and around the hive towards Spire Eldon, the knobbly, irregular finger of steel and glass that points accusingly at the smog-laden sky. ETA to Pagni Tower, 12 minutes, he says. Shortly, Pagni Tower sweeps into view through the forward viewport. 2 of the trio of wide ferrocrete landing pads arrayed around the tower stand empty, the third covered by the armoured shield dome, designed to protect its occupying vessel from the fierce sandstorms of Decilium's wastes. The beacon lights of one of the landing pads begin to blink, welcoming you in.
Shuttle Pack Zeppelus 0442, you are clear for landing on Pad 2.
Comes the voice of one of Lady Pagni's security people. Confirmed, Tower, says Plex. Have thee. An alarm begins to blare, shrill and rapid. Weapons lock, yells Plex. Incoming missile, 2 o'clock. Through the grimy viewport, you see the flare of a rocket engine, a thin trail of smoke emanating from a lesser tower half a kilometre from Spire Eldon, a pinprick of anger and rage growing larger as it gets closer and closer.
Evasive maneuvers!
Plex, would you make a piloting roll at +10, please? This point right now is what we like to refer to as a crossroads.
Fuck over. It'll be fine, I'm sure.
Nothing could possibly go wrong. Let's see what we've got.
No pressure.
No pressure.
No
One
pressure.
fate point. Has he got piloting?
I'm sure he has.
Is he like connected to the piloting with does he get +10 from that?
Yeah.
Like yeah, I thought so. Yeah, it's pretty naff at piloting. It was more than enough. I'll use my fate point to add a +10 as well, Dave.
Okie dokie.
You can do it, Plex.
Come on, Plex.
So that'd be +20.
Ooh.
Oh no.
And you took the left path at the crossroads.
Siegfried reaches for his grappling gun. Grapnel. Surely this time.
Just going to shoot Plex in the back of the head for failing.
You failed me for the last time. The first and last time.
Oh wait.
Plex yanks the controls this way and that. the throttle. He opens it, then closes it. He doesn't know what to do. He's no combat pilot. He is a technomancer biologist, 2nd grade. He shouldn't be in this situation at all. He's an expert with rats, not shuttles. The missile hits. Blinding light, deafening noise, wrenching of metal, rushing of air, screams. An alarm blares somewhere. A screeching, keening sound that rises in pitch comes from the rear of the ship. Plex yells something about the main engine and the port attitude thruster being gone. The shuttle pitches, lurches, drops rapidly in a tight spiral. Plex, make another piloting roll, please. This is a straight piloting roll.
For the record, I don't like my own medicine, Dave. It's bitter.
This
This is pretty much why I put on
the
James.
rolls if we hit anything on the way down.
Series of piloting rolls, which you will fail.
Oh, you recognise it, do you? Oh,
I do recognise my own medicine. I'll say it's a bitter draft, though. Okay, so we'll go for where are we? Plex. Okay, I believe in you, Plex. All that work with rats, I knew it'd come in handy someday.
oof.
1 degree of failure, or a straight fail.
Whatever just happened, Plex fucked it up. The shuttle slams into something heavy. As it spins and drops, something explodes somewhere. The inside of the shuttle fills with flame and smoke and shattered armor glass. Your armor saves each of you from harm from that particular impact and the flying debris, but armor cannot help with what happens next. You go weightless for a moment as the shuttle finally gives in. And then your harnesses drag you down as the shuttle falls, plummeting towards Desilium's surface. Serena screams as the shuttle careens off something with a thud. The tail rips away, leaving you exposed to the harsh wind of Desilium. Sand blows into the passenger bay, obscuring everything. Great. A sandstorm. Just what you need. And then impact. Bone-shattering, world-ending impact as the shuttle slams to Earth with a deafening boom. Plex. I've pre-rolled the damage on this. Plex takes 10 wounds. Serena takes 5 wounds. Emmy takes 3 wounds. Siegfried takes 6 wounds.
Okay.
You can hear engines getting closer, and then through the shattered armor glass cockpit, you see them. 10 heavily armed and armoured figures descending via rope harnesses from the rear doors of a Valkyrie transport. It's devoid of any military insignia, but the team of black-clad soldiers land, raise weapons, and advance on your ruined shuttle, displaying obvious signs of military training. And you recognise the uniforms. You have encountered these people once or twice before.
I'm on -11, Dave. Does that mean I'm dead?
You shouldn't be on -11 because the doctor healed you. You should be on -8.
-8.
Yeah.
Wait, is that with the additional damage, or
Yeah, that's what you're on now.
it says -5 on here? So
Yeah, it should have been down to -2. The doctor tried to heal you and didn't.
oh, right, okay. No.
Yeah. So you recognise these people. You've seen them a few times before. This is Pressure Point, the sector's largest mercenary outfit.
Oh, not these fuckers again.
You cannot hear their commands as they sweep towards you, but you do hear the deafening boom of the Valkyrie's port engine as it detonates. The craft veers and goes into a spin, spiralling as it drops, slamming into the soldiers, crushing half a dozen instantly. Another is sliced in half as the starboard wing slams into his abdomen. The remaining soldiers bring their weapons up, looking for their attacker, but they aren't fast enough. Bright beams of high-powered las fire light them up, tearing through them on full auto. First one and then another falls, as heads and torsos are blown apart in the torrent. The final soldier, shot through both legs, shoulder and abdomen, hits the ground, begins to crawl away. And then the hidden assailant appears, striding through the smoke and flames of the ruined Valkyrie. On his shoulder, some sort of launcher weapon tracks back and forth with the movements of his head. A huge power cell backpack feeds the bulky hell rifle he carries. Its barrel glows orange with the heat of the full auto burst he used to cut down the soldiers, and he stops next to the survivor, draws a matte black bolt pistol, and executes the struggling man before reholstering the pistol. And then he turns and peers into the shattered shuttle, and you see him, Siegfried, a man you haven't seen in 9 months. He's tall, bulky, and the grey carapace he wears makes him look like a giant. His head is bald and scarred, as is his face, from a lifetime of warfare and hunting. Lord von Morton, says Gnaeus Lucilius.
Oh, fuck.
Come with me if you want to live.
He's trying to kill me. He's the one that's trying to kill me.
Is he?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just going to cough up a bit of blood and then be like, guess I don't really have a choice, do I? Old friend.
He grabs your hand and he helps you out the shuttle, and he begins to help the rest of you climb out of this shuttle as well. And he says, my ship's not far from here. I can get you somewhere safe. We need to move now. There'll be more of them.
Lead the way.
Okay. He takes you to his ship. It takes about 10 minutes to get there. It's a small Aquila shuttle, heavily modified, with extra armour and a couple of weapon mounts. And on the way there, he tells you a little story. He tells you that a few months back, he saw your name on a bounty list for the company that he works for. 4 million credits. Dead. Posted by the Devord family. They even knew what planet you were on and how to get there, because there are very few regular shipping routes to this world. Aeneas tells you he's travelled all over this sector in his 50-something years. He'd never heard of Decilium before. And he tells you he's been here a couple of months trying to track you down. He gained access to some sanctuary files. Saw they had a pict of you abducting some minor lord and executing some guy in a street. And there we go. What's that? 7:15. Well played. There were a few other images of you as well. Some at the port, other places around Decilium, but he didn't have any concrete information on how to find you. So he started to look for images of the people that were with you in these pictures. A few of them cropped up regularly. A big guy. A cog woman. Some dude with a shield. But he couldn't find them either. And then a few weeks later, he spotted the shield guy dressed in arbiter gear in Port Guy. He kept an eye on him, followed him about, followed him down Hive to a place called the Gallows Way, and then to a place called Gantry. He was there with the big guy and this woman, and a little weaselly fellow too. Had no place being down Hive, says Gnaeus. Anyway, he paid some broad to slip the little guy a tracker. Kept an eye on him, followed them about, hoping that you would turn up. And then he couldn't believe his luck. The big guy wanders off alone, in the darkness, in the night, after a petty argument. Now Gnaeus assumes the big guy's a friend of yours. I didn't hurt him, he tells you, but I did kind of drug him. And then I used a friend of mine to get into his head, and that's how I found you. And he tells you, you saved his life twice, back on Acanthos. And now he owes you. And he takes a knee before you. And he says, I'm here to honour that debt, Lord von Morton.
Glad to have you on board. Sorry, I'm not much to look at the minute. It's been a rough day.
Looks like you could use some rejuve treatment.
Perhaps a little more than usual, yes.
Okay.
For 4 million credits, you can get me a new body.
So Siegfried now has a new companion. He is vaguely aware of your connection to the Inquisition. He was aware that you and Dick were working for Aristocrus back on Acanthos, and he knew Aristocrus was an inquisitorial agent. Excuse me. With that, he flies you back to Lady Pagni's tower, gets permission to land, and you are greeted by Cale Marotti and a squad of heavily armed soldiers who have been rather concerned. They saw your shuttle blasted out of the air, and they indicate the tower that the shot came from and say they've sent a team over there to investigate. But for now, it's very late at night. You're very wounded. You're very tired. You will be crashing at this point. It's time for Siegfried and company to rest. Rest, Siegfried.
Sleep time.
Sleep tight, Siegfried. I'm sure nothing bad will happen during the night with Gaius here to look after you.
Just fall asleep with stroking my hair.
I like to
Meanwhile-
watch you sleep.
Meanwhile, elsewhere, the sirens were getting closer. Spring's crime club had to make a choice. Flee empty-handed or risk fighting the sanctuaries for a sniff of whatever might be in the evidence locker. The choice was made. You would fight. The risk of battle against well-armed, well-trained officers of the law would surely be worth whatever prize you found inside the vault, right? Silas found the vault before manning the turret of the wagon, carefully wiping his feet as he boarded to keep the interior pristine. And then he kept the twin-linked autocannons trained on the breaches in the precinct's perimeter wall, while Slab and Spring watched out of the windows. And as the sirens drew nearer, there was a voice on the comm, choppy, garbled, somewhat familiar. It wasn't coming through. Canny assessed the lock on the vault door. The combined armory and evidence locker, the place where Zelda Octavia Harmore's collection of naughty books had been taken, along with who knows what else. The lock was a complex one, a high-tech dual security system that required the swiping of a keycard and the inputting of a complex alphanumeric code unique to that keycard. It was well above the ability of Canny with his primitive knowledge of security systems. Canny could pick locks, sure, brute force his way into a primitively secure room, of course, but high-tech locks such as this, never. Canny ripped the wires out from the bottom of the console and started striking them randomly against one another, and the lock clunked open impossibly. The vault door swung wide, and within there were two side chambers, one full of books, files, scrolls, the evidence locker, no doubt, and the other bristling with weapons, ammo, equipment. The armory. You were here for the evidence locker, for the naughty books and the intel that could be of use to your cause. But you went for the armory. Slab, get in here, yelled Canny. I need your help. As he picked the locks on first the evidence locker and then the armory door, and Slab began hurling weapons onto a sofa that he had dragged in from the corridor. Canny grabbed a couple of high-value items, a fancy shotgun like the one Carell used, some strange piece of equipment he didn't recognise, and the sirens grew closer, and the voice on the comm resolved itself. This is Ferinus, Spring, Canny, anyone, can you hear me? You are compromised. Alyssa's been monitoring Hive law enforcement feeds. They picked up your Cargo 6 on Arterial 7. Been tracking it ever since. I don't know how or why. I just know they're referring to you as the Good Time Gang. And there's a squad of sanctuaries en route to your location.
Pause for Johnny.
You have less than a minute before they're on you. The Good Time Gang.
It's certainly good. Certainly the case.
The Good Time Gang. Canny has heard of these people. A ragtag band of vigilantes that target crooked cops. Why would the sanctuaries think that you are they? Spring spotted a safe, hidden under the bench in the armory. Canny used his det cord, attempting to blow the door from the safe. Slab shielded the team from the blast. But Canny didn't use enough det cord. He was no explosives expert. No, he had been left at home, back at the mansion. Use this, rumbled Slab. tossing Canny a canister of greyish-white foam, which Canny sprayed around the safe's locks and hinges, and the Wall Eater began working immediately, dissolving the metal of the safe, revealing its contents. 3 weapons. 2 bolt guns and a bolt pistol, and a good amount of ammunition for each. Now, bolt guns are rare items, usually gifted to decorated soldiers, nobles, agents of the throne, and the like. They're not the sort of weapons one would expect to find in a sanctuary precinct. And the shotgun that Canny had taken, it was identical to the one that Carell used. These bolt weapons, Canny noticed, bore the icon of the Adeptus Arbites, the same symbol that Gaius has on his equipment. And then the strangest revelation of all, 3 ID badges, custom oath cogs, belonging to arbiters. But there was no time to ponder this. More weapons were chucked onto the sofa. Spring darted into the evidence locker, rooting through the books and scrolls and boxes of files. The thud, thud, thud of Silas's twin-linked autocannon announced the arrival of the Sanctuaries. A full squad of them and outriders. Silas's opening barrage disabled their armoured meat wagon, killing 4 of the men inside, and as the lawmen flooded into the precinct's courtyard, Silas hosed them with high-caliber shells, blowing off limbs, rupturing torsos. 2 took shelter behind a battered squad car, and Silas lit the vehicle up, killing them instantly. But he didn't see the second team, who rushed the precinct, gaining entrance through the windows and swarming inside. Canny, rushing around the corner, encountered them. "Fuck," he said, sprinting off down a nearby corridor, breaking line of sight. The officer saw him, and Benny Hilled after him down a narrow corridor. And then Slab came lumbering around the corner, dragging his sofa laden with weapons and equipment. He saw the 4 sanctuaries chasing Canny, dropped his sofa, readied his shield, and charged after the coppers. The first one went down after Slab's shield clattered into him. He bounced off his companion. Good timing, man.
Leanne just fell down the stairs.
That was perfect. Absolutely perfect. Well done, yeah.
Amazing.
Where are we? Oh, the first one went down after Slab's shield clattered him into his companion, and he spent a long moment of terror avoiding the stamping feet of Slab before the Ogren's chopper bisected him. Pause for Johnny. Canny turned on his pursuers, raising hook and cleaver, tearing the squad leader in 2, and caught between the bulk of Canny and Slab, the 4 sanctuaries screamed briefly before they were turned to bloody shreds by the fearsome might of these 2 hulking men, each loyal to Vernetta in their own way. And out in the courtyard, Silas continued to rain fire upon the sanctuaries, and they had grenades now. A couple of them pinged off the wagon's hull, doing superficial damage. But then a true threat emerged. One of the coppers had an RPG. That seems a little high-tech for police officers, and he blasted the side of the wagon, putting a huge dent in the driver's side wall, and blasting ablative armour plates clean off. One of the grenadiers darted out of cover, rushing to the rear of the vehicle where the boarding ramp lay open. He raised his grenade. He went to pull the pin, and his head exploded as Spring put a high-caliber manstopper through his brain pan. These coppers were no match for the butchery of Canny, the brute strength of Slab, the technological might of Silas and his wagon, and the whatever it is Spring brings to the party. But there was no time for celebration. There were more sirens, many, many more sirens. Slab grabbed the sofa, hauled it to the wagon. Spring whooped with glee as she took over the turret, spinning it round and round and round and making herself sick. Silas put the wagon in gear, fleeing the scene, driving into the tunnels that led back down to the hive. And in the rear-view pict feed, he could see several dozen vehicles bearing flashing hazard lights pulling up to the precinct. And above them, a trio of aircraft swooped in. Bulky things. They didn't look like sanctuary ornithopters. They looked military. They looked like Valkyries. The wagon clunked and clanked over the rough terrain of the ruined district. Silas pushed his baby hard. Pause for Johnny. And the engine and gearbox complained all the way.
What? What the fuck?
The wagon will need extensive repairs after this. Canny and Spring haggled and argued over the loot. This was Spring's score. Everyone gets an equal share. What do you want, Canny? The book or the files? Canny insisted he wanted the book. The Necronoshashom, it was dubbed. And I don't remember why we called it that.
Is it a cookbook?
It's a naughty book. It's bound with human flesh, bound with human skin. It has a face in it.
All right, okay.
Back at the carnival, Jackson Strang greeted you at the gates as always. Did they ever sleep? Back in the shanty village, Horace the Birdman watched from his cave as you entered the shanty house, before stepping through the webway gate into the mansion, where Theranos and Titulos greeted you. And there were questions. Who are the Good Time Gang? Why did the sanctuaries think you were they? Why were there Arbite weapons and equipment in a sanctuary outpost? How did they find you? Was there a leak in the mansion? Slab dragged the new equipment off to the armory. Canny headed to his room with his new book. He asked Alyssa to look into the ID of the arbiters whose badges he had found. And Alyssa would do whatever Canny asked. Because he was her favourite, she said. It's a little after midnight. In the mansion at the moment, we have Canny, Vernetta, Slab, Hannibal, and Silas. Tomorrow, Vernetta and Pench are to assist in installing Gaius. In the evening, several of you have been invited for dinner with Lady Pagni. It's her birthday.
Mm.
What would you like to do? About midnight-ish.
I mean, I've got a clear idea what I want Canny to do, but I'm not sure I should voice it. I don't know if it's even, sensible for me to do so. So I shall, for a moment, we'll have a little think.
Okay.
It's midnight, so it's fairly late in the day anyway. So it's close to night time anyway.
It is, yeah.
So so Vernetta's aware of all that's gone on, or like everyone's kind of rolled in.
Yeah.
So who's there? There's Vernetta.
Vernetta, Canny, Slab, Hannibal, Silas, Theranos, Titulos, Spring will be there as well. Basically, everyone except Siegfried's team, Trantia, Gaius.
Okay.
I think.
Right, so I'll take control of Vernetta then, I guess.
Okay.
I'll head over. So what's Vernetta aware of with this crime episode? Is she aware of all that? I'm kind of. It's been a while we've been here, Dave, and I'm not quite sure who knows what or where we are in the timeline and what have you. So, but what does Vernetta know of that last mission? Was she involved with, or was it hidden from her, or what?
It wasn't hidden from her. Vernetta's probably aware that Spring goes off and does dodgy stuff, and that she gets everyone involved in it from time to time. If you would like, we can have Vernetta be aware, because Spring is, as we know, Vernetta's best friend. She's dubbed herself that. And she's probably come to you and done one of her 100 mile an hour. And then, there was this guy came in through the window, and I shot him in the face. And she's done her usual excited explanation.
Yeah, cool. We can do that. Yeah, we can do it that way. Also, if I'm maybe having Alyssa spy in for Vernetta as well, perhaps that might help as well.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, Alyssa is very loyal to Vernetta.
Okay, I'll try and draw everyone together as Vernetta, and specifically, I want to talk to Spring.
Okay.
But I'll ask everyone. I don't know if there's head over to a meeting room, or whatever.
There's several meeting rooms. There's dining rooms. There's all sorts.
Yeah, we'll just go to like a casual, like the bar room.
Okay.
I need a command meeting in the bar, quick.
In the bar, the best place for a command meeting.
All acolytes, report immediately. Okay. Yeah, I'll try and draw everyone together, and so we've got Hannibal there. And it's mainly Spring, I think I want to speak to.
Okay.
Canny will go off to his room.
So you're snubbing your own invite?
Canny, he likes his. I just don't want to have them both in the same room at once. I'm not ready.
Coward.
Well, I mean, I'm riddled with fear, Dave. Riddled with it. I'm scared of what Canny and Vernetta might do to each other if I have control of them both at once.
Yeah, it could be
You know,
weird.
you're not ready to have, for me to have this kind of, love scene while you all just watch while I, role play with myself and try and seduce myself and then make out with myself and then fuck myself. We don't need to go there tonight.
I can honestly
We
say
can just,
that would be.
we can just do other things.
That would be one of the things I ask for the most if Santa was real. Like, what would you like for Christmas this year, Dave? I'd like to see Alan role play a sex scene with himself.
I'm afraid there's a price for that one, Dave. So,
What is it?
if you're good at something, you should never give it away for free, right? So
Yeah.
But now just one character at a time is enough for me, I think.
Cool. Okay.
It's like when I'm GMing, I have to do lots of characters at once, and that's work, right? I don't want work, Dave. That's your job tonight.
True. So, Hannibal, are you going to the brief?
Yeah,
Yeah. What about Slab?
yeah, we'll go.
He'd definitely go if Vernetta told him to. I would have thought.
Okay.
Oh no! What's happening? That's the wrong thing. Right. Who else have we got there? Fairness. Titular. I'm just trying to work out who's at the mansion and who's not. God. Yes. This greater demon of Corn is definitely at the meeting.
Great.
Oh yeah.
Totally fooled me into thinking that Nae's wanted to kill me for like ages.
Yeah. So it was a good intro, Dave, and a nice, so you've been on fire in Darker, I'd say, for quite a few sessions. It was a great intro.
That was. I think the reason you think he was going to kill you is entirely the way that Canny delivered the warning.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that might have something to do with it. Yeah.
I ultimately assumed the worst when Yeah.
He's after you.
Well, I made the same assumption you did, Johnny. So.
Yeah. Wow. He's got unfinished business with Siegfried. He knocked him back. He was like, "I'll just."
I will follow you across the stars, and then I will serve you.
Oh my God, he's got to complete the set, hasn't he? The Icanthos set.
Icanthos bingo, is it?
Yeah. I don't know if you'll remember because it was so long ago, but he gave Gaius a speech about how him and his regiment were famed for being incredibly loyal. And he was the last of his regiment, and that's how he ended up as a bounty hunter because he didn't have a regiment anymore. And he said on his departure that if your paths ever crossed again, and he said he hoped they crossed again. If you ever met again, he would basically be indebted to you, but he had to go and accomplish his task, which was report that he'd executed Silas Malor, which he didn't actually do. You did.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been 4 years since that, I think. Real time.
Wow.
Right, anyway, let's get this up and running.
Hi.
There we go. You are in the bar. Fairness is tending bar. Ted sat by the fire.
Can you give me Vernetta or sight on Vernetta?
No, she's blind.
I've got Canny. I'm seeing from Canny.
There you go. You should be able to see now.
Cheers.
Even Les is there.
It'd been amazing if you were seeing from Canny and everybody looked like, like a roast chicken or something like that, or
Canny
That would be
vision.
next level. That would be so next level. You should do that, David.
or a
Great
slab
idea.
of meat, or just any kind
you
of slab
could've-
of meat would be amazing.
I wish I
If
could
you
do
could have,
that.
that's such a good idea. If you could have caught me by surprise with that one, if
Yeah.
I'd have gone into an encounter and everyone is a roast chicken, and Dave has made the map just for me, and all you guys see a different map,
Yeah.
right? But I see one map and it's just all these like racks of lamb and these things on me. But if if you'd have got me with that one, that would have been
Canny vision.
that would have been so good.
I genuinely wish
Johnny, oh,
I
man,
had thought
that's
of
so
that.
good.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah. Nice idea, Johnny.
Thank you.
Yeah. But oh, man. But yeah, I really like the idea of that one, I have to say. So,
Yeah.
Okay, I think, with the exception of Missy, Thomas, and Jeeves, I think that's everyone that's in the mansion. Of course, Canny's buggered off somewhere with his book.
Okay, Vernetta will comes in. She'll try and comms into Canny unsuccessfully. Canny, are you coming? Hello. But Canny's not responding.
Now you're ignoring yourself. That's just weird.
I mean, yeah, it's far from weird, Dave. That's pretty tame, I'd say. So.
Compared to what he.
I need to ignore myself. I shouldn't listen to myself all the time, should I? No, certainly not. So anyway, Vernetta will talk to the room. She'll say, "Well, thank you for all for coming. I think we're getting a little distracted. I think we need to get focused back on what we're meant to be doing, why we're here, what our missions are. I see everyone seems to be going off on their own and doing their own thing."
Spring, staring vacantly at the roof at this point, goes, "A rudderless ship will find its own path."
Yes, straight to the rocks, and I think we need to. I think we need to try and remember, what our mission objectives are, and let's consult them, shall we? Now I've got you all together, and see if anyone's got anything they want to add to any of them. So we went off to down below for the extra orb. We need to lock it down in the chest, the stasis chest. So I haven't seen it since it's since the mission returned from the Gallows Way.
Hannibal is the only person in the room. Oh no, Hannibal and Seraph were there.
Yep.
Seraph's going to sort of look at you, Hannibal, and then back at Vernetta, then back at you, and then back at Vernetta, and then back at you. And
It was a primary objective why you went down there. Where is it? Where's the orb?
I thought. I remember Gaius saying he had it at one point, but then he sort of fell over, and he's going to look at you, Hannibal.
I was going to shrug. Fucked if I know.
I ain't got it, and if you ain't got it, then she's just going to sort of look upstairs, sort of look up at the ceiling and go, the only other person there was Canny and Trantia.
Right. Yes, I'll speak to Canny and to Trantia. So nobody knows where the orb is.
Vernetta just gives a vague shrug. Seraph gives a vague shrug.
Venetta's just going to fuck. So next, it seems to me the most important thing to do next is to take the fight to Spire. That's one that we can't ignore.
Yeah.
I think we need to devote all our energies to that one.
Don't take this the wrong way, big guy. She looks at Slab. But there's only one person in this room that was present the last time Spire was hunted down. I don't suppose you know how the Inquisitor found him?
I've no idea, do I?
No. You were just told, go over there and beat that up.
No. I just do what I'm told. I was told to hurt things.
Right. And
Okay.
of course, when you all fought him, you kind of stumbled on him, yeah? So, how do you find a demon host?
It seems to me it's psychic energy.
Hannibal will
Someone-
pipe up. I saw that demon host thing. And some bloody psycho went loopy down in the chasm.
Where's this? Down in the gallows, where you mean?
No, you know, just outside the shanty town.
Ah, okay, yeah,
There's
yeah,
like
yeah,
a drop, isn't there, where Horace, the Birdman, lives up on the rocks above it. Hannibal went down there with Seraph, and that's when Spire came back. Basically, one of the psychers that they were fighting went fucking mental. I rolled a perils, which was a demon host, and I was like, hey, I'm going to bring Spire back. Happy accidents and all that.
This is his jurisdiction. It's his turf.
So, I mean, if he's gone down, Seraph says, if he's down in the chasm still, I mean, do we know anything about the chasm?
How far'd they go? Where's Canny? He knows this. You know, he should be here. She looks around for anyone who knows the area.
I will. Hannibal will tell everyone about the temple, for want of a better word, that we found down there with the weird statue.
Right.
And he'll toss the piece of the statue that he broke off to Vernetta and say, I don't know what that is, have a look at it. That's what the statue was made out of.
See. Perhaps we should assemble a team to go see if anything else can be learnt down there. See if any tracks or traces or psychic spore. I think we need everyone to be on tracking Spare down. Surely he can't stay hidden for long. He's too violent. He'll go on a killing spree, surely. Surely we should just try and find out where people are dying. That's where Spare is.
Seraph again speaks up and says, I only remember bits and pieces about my time with Spare. He craves violence. He craves slaughter. And it's been, I don't even know how long it's been, I've forgotten. It's been a few days.
You don't know, Dave? No one does.
No, it's I could find out, but it's like, he says it's been a few days. He must have found a way of saking his bloodlust by now. Maybe we could search the infosphere or something. You know, there must be reports of massacres, if there has been any.
Sure. If only we had Otto. Only.
I mean, we do have the new nerd.
Anyone who can work on this needs to work on it. I do have some other priorities myself, or I'd be doing it myself, but I need anyone who can work on this to be looking for Spare, be that tracking him down, out down this chasm, or through the infosphere. Can't be left on the loose.
Like a Thundercat.
There's nothing worse than a rogue Thundercat.
Seraph
There
says,
is.
Cheetah.
Seraph
Can't say
says,
anything.
so powerful files.
Interrupt.
The wind seems to say. Did anyone else hear that? Was that Canny? No, it wasn't Canny. I thought I heard voices.
Seraph
So
says
much
she'll,
sense.
Seraph says she'll have a word with Zelda. Get Zelda to start searching for any signs of mass murders, massacres, battles, anything like that anywhere in the hive.
Silas, did you learn anything out in the wastes?
I learned I like
get
my
some-
own company a great deal.
Okay. Any good looting out there?
I brought a few items. I gave them to Mr. Gladstock, and he told me to take them to the armory with that big fella over there. And he points at Les, who's eating a sandwich.
Did
What
you
kind of sandwich?
did you close the hatch?
Space ham.
Based on re cheese.
Oh, of course I closed the hatch. You know, I'm not a stupid man.
Okay, good. Good. Okay, so right, let's see what else we got. There are obviously many other objectives, but these are the ones that I consider the most important at the minute. The orb. Obviously Gelt, that's too big. I don't know how we're meant to find him. When we keep killing all of our witnesses. Never mind that. Never mind that. But no, Speyer can't be allowed, to go free.
The thing is, though, if you keep killing all your witnesses, sooner or later you might accidentally kill
Without
Gelt.
people. Yes, Pat. Well,
Yeah.
by chance, throw enough mud at a wall. Okay. So, there are obviously other objectives about, tracking down Gelt and, finding out about the metal objects and where they're being taken, what have you. And Scale, obviously, as well, has gone to ground. But I think Spare is the biggest threat at the moment. That and getting this orb, which you've just spent God knows how long looking for, and no one seems to know where it is. Is there anything else that anyone wants to discuss while we're all together? Let's all say to the room.
Pench is going to say, yeah, I got something. Are we still on tomorrow, V, for, the old brain
Yep.
thing?
We must.
Right, cool. Right, okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to call it a night and get some sleep and a bit of rest. So I'm at my best tomorrow.
Yes. Good idea.
Right, I'll be off then. I'd like everyone to make an awareness test, site-based. I'm just going to grab a drink while you're doing that.
He's rattling.
Yeah, he needs to get himself limbered up for tomorrow.
Yeah.
He's
On
we
the
don't want him with the shakes. We don't want him with the shakes while he's working. Simply won't do.
pump him full of stims. And I was going to pump himself full of stims and then something to relax himself and a bit of music.
Yeah,
A
Pench.
bit of light jazz.
Yeah, Pench.
Yeah.
For smooth jazz, perhaps.
Pench removes
Smooth
himself.
jazz to
Pardon
put
me?
a brain in
What was that
thing.
What was that, Dave? Sorry.
So Pench removes himself from the room. You do notice, though, Vernetta, as he goes, you notice Slab
Right.
in the corner of the room. Slab's fallen asleep, stood up, leaning against the wall.
Okay, well.
He's had a big day, bless him.
We had a big day.
He's excited. Got a sofa full of gear.
Does he, does Slab look remotely comfortable?
It's kind of hard to tell. He kind of looks pretty much the same as when he's awake, but with his eyes shut.
I'll put in a request to Jeeves. I'll comment into Jeeves and ask him to bring a blanket, please.
Compliance.
Put it over his head, right? Just lay in the corner.
Just drape it over him.
Drape it over him.
Like a big ghost.
Yeah.
A giant cartoon ghost stood in the corner of the room.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess that's everything. Well, thank you for everyone, and do what you can about Speyer. I want everyone's focus on this task. I've been to a wander off.
Theranos is going to pipe up. He's going to go, here, V, you got a minute? Just as everyone's starting to leave.
Yes, of course.
He leans in very close. His brother comes over as well. There's the two of them and you just stood in the corner. And Theranos says to you, it strikes me that someone might be observing us.
Why'd you say that? Or how'd you mean?
Well, today when Spring and a little posse went out for a drive, me and Theranos were just monitoring Vox traffic. We do it quite often, looking for things like spare, things like that, anything that could be useful. And we heard the description of the Cargo 6 and mention of the Good Time Gang. So we looked into this Good Time Gang. Now, from what I understand, they're this gang of vigilantes, yeah? But the sanctuary files that we acquired during our search have pictures of this Good Time Gang. And a lot of the pictures are us lot.
Someone's setting us up.
Well, yeah, it seems to me like they were looking for that particular truck, and they found it. They knew where to look.
Fucking setup.
It's a fucking setup, V.
I'd like everyone to be on lockdown. No one leaves the mansion unless they've got authorization. No more jaunts. No more crime. This shit has to end here. I'll speak to Spring.
Spring is
This is
blatantly not listening to you. She's staring at the fire like her eyes are fucking massive. She's just all pupil right now, staring at the fire.
something else. I want to move the mansion. I need to have a think on that one.
Castle
been here-
Dockula.
We've been here too long, and we've been compromised by someone, an insider perhaps.
Suddenly, Spring pipes up and says, well, technically you can't move the mansion because it exists in a multi-dimensional space somewhere in between reality and the warp.
Well, you know what I mean, Spring.
And then she goes back staring in the fire, and you think, where the fuck did that come from?
Spring, we're inquisitorial agents. You've risked so much. You put us all in terrible danger.
What do you mean?
For what? And what have you? And what have you? And what have you? And what has this crime achieved?
We've got a load of new guns. We've got some bullets for the guns. We've got some other stuff, right? And we've got all these books and files and stuff. Some of them could be useful. Some of them, I think, are Elvis's books.
Now I'll think on it. But right, yes. Anyway, no one leaves the mansion unless it's necessary. So I want all anyone going to okay it.
Whatever you say, V.
Yeah, and certainly not you, Spring.
You're
grounded.
Give me a scrutiny roll, please.
I don't have a scrutiny. My awareness is absolutely shocking. We'll give a scrutiny roll though. It's just as bad. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you think you got through to
100.
Spring?
Yeah, she's my friend. She won't go on a wander.
No. She absolutely will do as she's told.
Okay, I believe that. So I'm quite trusting.
You make a terrible inquisitorial agent.
You look back and she's not there anymore.
Fucking cut away to Spring riding down the motorway on a motorbike, just like wind in her hair, going, hey!
Giving the finger to all the sanctuaries. Hey!
I mean, the ironic thing is, Spring is the biggest liability in this whole crew. I don't know. She's obviously in the top 10, but she's not the biggest liability. There's loads of glaring liabilities in this team.
She's in the top 10 in this crew of 11.
A Mesmer on the way.
Yeah. And ironically, she is one of the 10 as well.
Nice.
And she just stares into the unfiltered warp. What could go wrong? Also, before you leave, Seraph approaches you, Hannibal. And she goes, "Hey, King. You got a suit."
Do I look like I wear suits?
No, not really. Some of us are off to some fancy restaurant tomorrow night for Lady Pagni's birthday party. It's not really my scene, but it would be rude to say no. A ladyship's all right for a noble. I wondered if you'd be my +1.
Not really my scene, but fuck it, yeah, why not?
Right, we'll
get some fancy food.
Yeah. I hear good things about the soup.
Do they allow guns in this restaurant?
Johnny just peeked it out. That was brilliant. It's just hear good things about the soup. I don't know. I mean, it's quite high class. Some places, allow a ceremonial weapon, that sort of thing. So take a chopper with you.
I'll find a way to get something in.
Right. Well, I think Arcturos's clothing was never taken out of his room. Well, maybe tomorrow we can have a route through, see if we can find anything that will fit you. He was a pretty big lad.
Yeah, we'll have a look.
Right. Failing that, we'll not leave the house and go
Polish
buy
me
you
boot.
something.
Amazon.
If you get us rumbled because you've got off buying shoes, I'm not going to be very happy, you know. Wind seems to say.
That'd be amazing. That'd be the best
That would
way
be.
to get it. Why did the campaign
Yes,
come
the
to an
captain.
end? Well,
It was shoes.
Buying shoes.
well, the
They went shopping.
Catagen assassin and the previously possessed assassin went to buy some shoes, and everyone died, basically. Right.
It was Black Friday.
Couldn't resist the deals. The percentages were too high.
They were stabbed by
I had to go.
overzealous shoppers for a bargain.
So
That's how they were killed.
at the moment, the invite list for Lady Pagni's birthday dinner is Lady Pagni, of course, and her +1, the hopefully by then recently resurrected Gaius Mortalis, Lord Siegfried Reigns and his lovely wife Trantia, Seraph and Hannibal, and Vernetta.
Spring's not coming, is she?
Well, Vernetta, you've been invited as well because you've
She
had your
might
stomach,
rumble up.
you've had your digestive system properly repaired, so you can eat anything now. So Lady Pagni's invited you to try out your new digestive system on the finest quality food. You also have a +1, so if there's anyone you'd like to take, you can.
Well, fuck Canny for a start.
Canny in this really fancy restaurant is something that would be amazing.
Tuxedo. in an ill-fitting tuxedo.
A little bow tie.
With his belly hanging out. I just imagined it.
Buttons guy going.
It's worth it.
It's Mr. Presto.
Just one more slice.
Canny's
Bob full.
Canny's snacking on the waiter's leg.
Yeah, we've got to do that. It's so good.
So yeah, you do have the option, Vernetta, of taking someone else if you want someone else to go along. Because everyone else is technically going to be in pairs. I won't use the word couples. That would be weird.
Vernetta will consider.
Okay.
That's a problem for future Vernetta, I think.
Well, you've got a whole in-game day, so a good 30, 40 sessions to figure that out, I would have thought. The way the speed of this game. Okay. Anything
Every
else?
hour is utilised, sometimes for 2 sessions.
Yeah.
Um,
Anything else anyone wants to do in the mansion this evening?
Yeah. I'll send you a few messages though.
Uh-huh. Just let me check something, actually. I've just realised Yeah, so it's not massively important now, but I have put the loot list, Siegfried and Springs Crime Club loot. I've updated the loot list, which I think I've just shared on the screen, to show everything that was found. Evidence, equipment, all sorts of shit. The formatting's gone to shit for some reason, so that's just to make you aware that is there. I meant to bring it up earlier on.
You haven't got all the gear on Slab's sofa on there?
Yeah. Where have I put that then? Oh, wait, did I...
I was looking at that earlier.
Yeah, just let me check. I maybe put it straight into the armory. Let's have a look. Yeah, I've put it straight into the army or the weaponry. Because, yeah, if you look at the armory handout, there's like the matched pair of raffia ringleaders. There's 2 bolters on there. There's a series pattern bolt pistol. So all the weapons that you took from the armory are now in your armory.
Really?
And unlike some people's games, right, when you want something from the armory, you just go up and ask for it, and you get it. In fact, sometimes Les will let you in and just let you help yourself. You know, there's no bizarre bartering system. There's no
Wouldn't crumble to dust. It wouldn't
second-rate
crumble
sets
to
of
dust.
armor that fall to pieces when your mate pats you on the shoulder or anything like that, Alan.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you don't want to go to the armory and get a suit of armor that just turns to dust. I mean, that's not reasonable, David.
I just like the fact that that's led to. I have spent a long time planning how I'm going to get to that fucker, and like I told you, didn't I? That I was going to maybe use the squigs. Oh, the snotlings.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I was going to try and lure the snotlings into the armory so that they'd fucking tear him to pieces. And at one point, I was trying to use Kara. I've come up with all sorts of ideas of how to get in there. My current plan is to assume command of the ship, kill off Lucius, and then order him to come out of the armory, and then have Arnie strangle him. That's my goal in your game, to kill the fucking quartermaster.
I mean, it's an achievable goal. He's just made of flesh and blood. So.
I mean, I don't give a shit about your plot, Alan. That's all I want to do.
Oh, you give me a lot. You give me a lot of credence for your plot, Dave. So, oh yeah, I'll send you a few messages on Messenger for like if have we got free day tomorrow? You say?
Yeah, up until the evening. Oh well, tomorrow Vernetta's supposed to be installing Gaius.
Yeah. But what I mean is can we send a team out down the ravine? I don't know if Hannibal's free. If Hannibal could lead it, I'd like to take the servo skull from Sirius, who's got it on the what's the name of the vehicle?
On the wagon.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway, I'd like to put that to attach that to Hannibal if he's off scouting. Send the old scout servo skull with him. I don't know who else would be good for that sort of mission. Maybe I don't know who have we got here. Maybe the brothers, perhaps.
Yeah.
So we got yeah. So maybe Stylus as well. I don't know what he'll maybe want to go out straight away. I would think so. I'll wait till he comes back. But I imagine he'll want to go straight back out when he can.
Yeah. So
and that's the most sense for him to do as well. So.
Will you be going on that mission?
Oh no! I'm going off to do Gaius, aren't I? So.
What about Canny? Will he want to go and do that? Or?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it'd be nice for me to have, I suppose, a character in the game, I suppose. So yeah, Canny would be a good pick, I guess.
All right. So Hannibal, twins, Silas, maybe, Canny, Siegfried would be good for that, but Siegfried's in a right state.
Yeah.
However, bear with me on that. Bear with me on that, because something's going to happen shortly.
He's going to get a new body.
So,
Gaius Siegfried.
So there's, oh God, where have I put it?
Formerly Red Man. I'm going to cash myself in.
Nice.
Right, hang on a second. Right, before we go any further, I thought I'd made a note of this on here, and I somehow we've skipped it over. So I'm going to draw your attention to something, Siegfried, that it's a little bit out of order because Siegfried is currently just back at Lady Pagni Manor, and we should have dealt with this before we moved on. But I'm going to bring up this handout that I've put on there for you called Siegfried's Evidence. So this is basically all the stuff that you learnt from that mission that you've just been on. So there's a load of evidence that I don't know if you were here for it, because I think you had to dash off. I think it was when Jacob was playing up a little bit or something, was he? Or was
it... something was happening.
Yeah, something was happening. So the rest of the guys, they looted the place. They found a load of weapons and equipment, which you can see on that loot list.
Yeah.
And there's also all this evidence. So to quickly go over it all, there's loads of messages back and forth between a number of minor nobles, one of which is Lady Esmeralda Eldon, who you had now got sort of under your thumb. And all these messages are to somebody called Alexandra Dmitri Cord. Each message is similar to the one that Plex intercepted that led you there, basically arranging times and dates and payments. So it's clear that this is evidence of other nobles having visited this place and paid for the services of the Dark Eldar succubus. There's also a file containing a message to someone called Captain Walter Grimes, which describes a location and a date and time about 4 months earlier where a package would be dropped off. And there is a return message sent to this Captain Grimes that says, "This collar better fucking work, Grimes. Last thing I need is some out-of-control psyker ruining my operation." And it was believed that this is a reference to the psyker that was also there, that was wearing this collar that Lectra Zun detonated.
Right.
And Emmy Lee knows the name Captain Walter Grimes. He's the captain of a local sanctuary precinct. So it looks like there's a crooked cop involved. There was also a load of files that didn't seem particularly useful, but Plex found a handvox code. And there was also like a handvox with no codes in it. So in other words, like a blank mobile phone. And Plex called this...
A burner.
Basically. Plex called this number and heard a voice say, "Grimes," and then Plex hung up. So that's obviously how they were contacting this Walter Grimes. There was other messages between Lectrazon and 2 other people, Walter Grimes being one of them, and then a third person called Axelon Dole. And the majority of these messages just seem to be transfer details for some significant amount of money. So it seems this Axelon Dole, whoever he is involved.
Dave,
hey?
Sorry, could I just interrupt a second?
Yeah.
What was the timestamp on Hayden sleeping? What did we say?
I think it was 6:45.
Sorry.
It's one of the quickest ones, I think.
I just needed to inform. Corey asked the question. So.
Leanne was wondering as well, actually. Right, there's also dozens of hours of video footage of men and women in compromising positions with the Dark Elder Succubus. There's also some more video footage of men and women in the room with this psycho woman with the collar. And this footage is unusual because it seems that they are unconscious for a lot of the time there, and the psycho woman is just standing over them. But you can tell by the twitching and the facial expressions that these people are in an extraordinary amount of pleasure. But there doesn't seem to be any physical contact between the psyker and these people. So it seems like the psyker's doing something to them, to make them enjoy themselves, shall we say.
You've been watching Demolition Man.
Pleasure magic.
Sex magic.
Off you get a drink.
Hang on a sec, Johnny, just one more bit. The Lectra Zun also escaped and headed into the sewers beneath the district. So that's something else to remember. And this information can be used. So if you want to go get a drink, Johnny, we're going to divvy up how you want to use this intel.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you turn yourself up a bit? You've gone really quiet suddenly.
Have I?
Yeah.
Not for me.
I could hear you all right, I think, mate.
Is it just my phone?
Yeah.
A second.
Could I ask Alyssa to get on with the looking for data about Spire as well, or rather on, looking for sites of mass murder or, that he might be attracted to.
Yep.
Anything where there's a load of deaths.
Yep. She'll crack on with that, and she tells you she'll be happy to do that, Vernetta, because you're my favourite.
Thank you, Alyssa. You're my favourite too. Would you like to play a game sometime?
Oh yes, I'd love to play a game.
What about the labyrinth, Alyssa? Perhaps we should go into the labyrinth. Wouldn't that be a fun game?
You mean I'm going to have to find my notes from 2 years ago? The labyrinth. I'd forgotten it was there. Johnny's phone died.
Oh no, Johnny, you didn't plug it in. You failed this tech use roll.
But the new tech adept Johnny should be able to sort it out, no problem.
I have to say, it's like he's leveled up.
Yeah.
It's just suddenly it was like bish bash bosh, and then there's a few things where I thought, yeah, good for you, mate. Yeah.
And now his phone's died.
The mockery has maybe landed a little bit. He's like, yeah, I can do this. Of course you can do this, shizzle Johnny. You don't have to omit scrap code.
You have to let me know if Hayden comes back. I've muted the snoring.
Yeah, I have as well.
Yeah, well, it's possible I'll have a second wind. I think it's not unreasonable at all. You know.
I've got
It's not
my
happened before.
I've got my Discord actually open for once, so I'll see him if he comes back.
Yeah. So I tend to have my Discord open.
Right, is there anything we can do while we're waiting for Johnny to come back? There is. Slip out of order. So
Shopping for shoes.
shopping for shoes, yeah, the best part of Dark Heresy. In fact, it wouldn't be the first time we've had shoe shopping in a Dark Heresy game, would it?
Far from it. And it
'Cause
won't be the last.
I've got some exquisite shoes on Quintius. They give me a fellowship bonus and never get dirty.
I realise if I do buy a new fancy suit, I'm going to pull the arms off, pull the sleeves off,
I kind of imagined that, yeah.
and my mohawk, I'm going to have to sort of part it down the middle and just flatten it down either side of my head.
I like the idea that halfway through the meal it just like corrects itself and just goes back up again. It's just been in a mohawk for so long, it's like muscle memory for it. Hair memory.
Gets stuck halfway and it ends up looking like fucking Guile from Street Fighter 2.
Oh, do you remember one of the character images from XCOM? The original XCOM. Do you remember the hair of the guys in that?
Yeah.
It's basically just flat, is it?
Hang on.
Not that.
Oh, no, that's XCOM 2. What was
You mean the original new XCOM or the original
the
XCOM?
original one? What was it called?
It weren't Enemy Unknown, was it? Weren't Terror from the Deep, that was the second one.
I forget what it's called, and I played it to bits. One of my first PC games. So.
Yeah. It's a great game.
That in June, my first RTS, and then a bit of Doom, and thus the addiction was born.
Yeah.
You enjoying Rogue Trader, guys?
Yeah. It's good.
Yes, it's very good.
Dave's-
Quite enjoying it.
Dave's
Is Enemy
enjoying
Unknown?
it. Dave's enjoying
Hey.
it so much that he's started the game about 37 times.
Only 8, but I've still probably got further than you have.
You probably have. I haven't played it for a
That's
few
why I'm.
days.
Yeah. So I'm not caning it, but I'm quite enjoying it.
What bit you on?
Well, I've just got past the prologue, so I've just kind of gone off and done my kind of first mission, and it's there's loads of people turning traitor, and I'm going through doing it.
Oh, you on
my first dungeon, let's say.
you on the planet with all the
I'm after a navigator.
Oh, you're gone for the navigator. That's probably the best one to do, to be honest with you, because you get a character with you early. If you go to the planet, whatever it is, Minoris, you get another character there, but yes, realistically, you're meant to do that bit last because it's quite tough early on.
No, I just picked something at random and then went with it. So that was the kind of the strategic choice that I made. I was like, I'll just click on that and see what happens, and just playing it through at the minute. But there's a lot I like about it, and obviously the fact it's set in the Coronis Expanse, that's where I've set my campaign. So there's a few little bits that kind of, I don't know, tickle a few buttons, you know what I mean? So
I'm enjoying the fact that it references the Calexis sector and St. Drusus gets mentioned and stuff like that. There's at one point you come across, I think it's on Footfall, you come across like a little gathering in front of a statue or something, and they're all Drusus worshippers. And I like it. Like it makes it feel like it's another Dark Heresy campaign that's like throwing in the little Easter eggs like we do. I mean, it is literally lifted from my rulebook, isn't it? So
there's a lot they've taken from it. And you can obviously tell there's a lot of people who, let's say, geeks who are really into it who are kind of also crafting it, right? So there's some people who are definitely, let's say, fanboys, who are contributing to it, which is good to see. So
yeah, it's there's a good little mix of. Like it stays true to the general 40k theme of having a mix of quite dark subject matter sprinkled with humour as well, which is a common thing in all 40k literature and what have you, isn't it? So it's good. I'm enjoying it.
Beat that demon engine that I found, Dave.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I've got a feeling I'm going to put quite a few hours into this one. So it reminds me an awful lot of that Chaos Gate, Demon Hunters. Do you ever play either that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I enjoyed that. I never finished that.
No, did I?
No, I finished it. I tried to do it again on like harder, so I never or like one playthrough or something stupid like that. I was playing on like hard one playthrough. I was like, oh yeah, you're not going to do it.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't look like
great
Johnny's
game, that
coming
one.
back anytime soon. So
Good old Johnny.
he's still in Roll 20 though. So I'm assuming he's just trying to find a power charger or something.
Is reverted to the tech potato.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll skip the bit that I had for Johnny. For
I
now.
sent you a couple of messages, Dave. That you've seen them. That's
Yeah, but I'm making notes about those things. So
things that cannot be said.
the last one is interesting. I mean, I don't really need to tell you anything about that. That's what you do. Have you got anything else? Either of you three, well, either of you four, technically, that you want to do, your four characters, before we end this night?
Not really.
Well, I think Vernetta will try and get as much sleep and energy as she can. She's got a big day tomorrow. So,
Is there a dartboard in this bar?
Not in this bar, but there is actually a games room next door. Just a second. Which has a pool table, and it now has a dartboard as well. It's just here, look. There's even a little statue of St. Drusus there, in case you fancy a prey.
It's very empty.
Yeah, it's fucking massive as well.
Grey Johnny.
I'll,
I've never seen Grey Johnny before.
I should invite Seraph into the games room for a game of throw the knife at the dartboard then.
Okay.
It's a fucking big table.
Yeah. Yeah. You see,
They've footballs on it.
this was all sort of hastily assembled one day for something else, and I didn't really look at the scale of anything. I just kind of chucked it all together. This map was originally made for the last Dark Heresy mission. This is how long ago I made this map. You know, the last Dark Heresy mission, Al, where you were infiltrating the Cult of the Joyous Choir.
Uh-huh.
This was going to be.
So, Dave, I don't see the map you're referring to either.
Oh, I mean the mansion.
The room. Oh, right. Oh, yeah, I get you.
Yeah, it was built for that because I copied the plan of it out of the book that mission came from. This was
Right.
you know, the Lord whose house you stayed at.
Uh-huh.
This is based on his house, and that's how long ago I made this map, like for Dark Heresy. But I made it for Dark Heresy, but it took us so long to get to that point in the story that this mansion's been used hundreds of times for this game, and it never got used in Dark because I don't think the fight ever happened that was supposed to happen there. I think you circumvented the combat. So Seraph and Hannibal are having knife throwing. Johnny, are you there? Oh,
He's choking.
I heard him earlier.
The death of Johnny.
just Hannibal, give me 3 ballistic skill checks. I'm curious as to who would win this. I think I know the answer.
What are the rules behind this knife throwing contest?
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's just aiming for the fucking bullseye.
Bear in mind, I can do called shots with no penalties.
Yeah. So it would be... all I'm doing is getting like an average. So what have I got? I've got lots of failures.
Shite rolls there.
Yeah, it's going to be surprisingly close. Nope.
Mine are marginally less shite than yours.
-2.
Be the alcohol.
3. Yeah. You haven't had one of your cigars today, that'll be the problem. -1.8. And what's Seraph got? She's got -0.4. -4. -2. So yes, you've beaten Seraph. It goes on for quite some time. It's not just 3 shots. That's just a bit of a hand wave of it. It goes on for quite some time, and Seraph is quite clearly outclassed by your marksman's eye. But then again, you don't think you've ever seen her wield a firearm or anything like that. She tends to run around with swords.
Always choppers.
Johnny? What's happened, Johnny? It was going so well. Vernetta's going to bed, yeah?
Yeah, she got a big day tomorrow, so let's try and get some sleep and
So
recharge the batteries, metaphorically and literally.
And physically, yeah. And what's Kenny doing after doing that last very weird thing that you told me he was doing?
It wasn't weird, Dave.
It was.
It was like that.
It was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. Sure, it was weird. I missed her. It was weird.
Oh, there's Johnny.
Welcome back, Johnny. Johnny knows.
Oh,
Kenny will...
I knew his name.
I guess he'll have a nap. Yeah, why not? Let's move it along.
Okay. You have a sleep, Kenny. Johnny, since you're back.
Yes.
Meanwhile, a few hours earlier, in fact, Carell. You stand in the observation cupola atop Arbiter Precinct 686 in Port Gaia, peering through the armour-glass dome at the distant haze of orange-brown dust that rises high into the air and slowly creeps across the planet, making its way towards the city. And there are flares of lightning and the distant roll of thunder, and a soft green glow that spreads across the horizon. Waste storm. Common this time of year.
Another damn waste storm.
Common this time of year. The result of shifting air pressures, cyclones, thunderheads, the collision of half a dozen different extreme weather events that whip the fine-grained silicates of Decilium's surface into a wall of razor-sharp airborne particles that can strip a man to the bone in seconds. Those that are exposed to such events and survive, those not shredded like a slow-cooked sump hound, will experience a different kind of death. A slow death, as their body rebels against its physical boundaries, twisting and reshaping itself. The radiation of Decilium's atmosphere is deadly to all, eventually. But the waste storms unearth the most dangerous pockets of fallout. Remnants of the old war, the centuries-old battle for this world, for this sector, where the last of the Xenos were annihilated by St. Drusus and the rogue trader Solomon Harlock. Beside you, Carell, stands Justicar Drummond. Warning's gone out over the Vox emplacement. Exposed parts of the city are being evacuated now. It's Category 8, biggest we've had in years. We're locking the port down. The EM is already fucking with the Vox. I can't reach the Inquisitor's people. I need you to go down there, warn them. The carnival should be fine, it's deep underground, but tell them to avoid unprotected zones for a few days. And he hands you a data slate.
I can do that.
He taps the data slate as he gives you it. Hotspots are all flagged on there. And there's a few files on recent arrests and what have you. I thought I should maybe bring to their attention. Might be nothing, but still. Take a couple of days, son. Hang out with your new teammates. And see if you can find out anything about Mortalis. It's been a week since I last heard from him. Some of the lads are asking questions.
Sir.
A few short hours later, via mass transit rail, a hired rickshaw, and good old-fashioned foot power, you find yourself arriving at the rusty, rickety descender platform that heads down into the industrial sump waste cavern. Down through the earth, through the hand-hewn tunnel, into the cavern you go, and then across the bridge that leads to the island, upon which stands the Carnival of Catastrophe.
Never have I seen a greater hotbed of hive of scum and villainy.
Playing light
Home, as we like to call it.
playing light jazz music.
Move.
The gates
Ugh.
are
He's
closed.
gonna shut off his audio. Audio dampeners. Audio dampeners deployed.
The gates are closed as you approach the carnival. Two men eye you as approach. You met them once before. The gate security. Their weapons are surprisingly high-tech. Probably stolen. The idea boils your blood, Carell. But you have been told to play nice with these people. One of the men, the smaller of the two, the one with the scarred face, sees you approach. "Carnival's closed, copper," he says. When you first met this man, Jax, that was his name, he said he could smell you were the law. He was hostile, and probably for good reason, but he, like you, was told to play nice. "With Kenny," rumbles the larger man. "Shut up, Strang," says Jax. "Just saying," says Strang.
That's right. Right. Message to get through to him is urgent.
"Well, I don't know. I mean, we're closed and all that." "Open the gates, Jax," says a third voice. A female voice. Standing a few meters behind Jax and Strang is a woman who you think is probably in her 40s or so. And she... Oops.
Cougar.
Her hair is almost entirely turned white, save for a single shock of black. She wears an oddly elegant dress of red silks and a black leather bodice. She looks surprisingly clean, fit, and healthy for an underhiver. She takes a few steps forward, leaning slightly on a simple cane of dark wood that you suspect is more for show than actually has any purpose. And on her hip rests a leather pistol case. With a las pistol in it. Her hands and forearms are encased in leather gloves that match her dress. Jax opens the gates and looks a little surprised to have done so. The woman approaches you. She smiles warmly and offers you a hand. "Good evening, Arbiter Hathard. I've been expecting you. My name is Agatha. We have some mutual friends who I have been having trouble contacting. Perhaps you could help me."
Just gonna nod. What's your connection to these mutual friends of ours?
I know one of them from a long time ago. Miss Midkiff, Trantia Midkiff. I am not affiliated or connected to the organization they represent. However, I am willing to assist and have assisted them in the past. I know who they are, and well, let's just say I would prefer to stay off the books, so to speak.
Me or to them?
Neither. To any official connection to that organization might not end well for me and anyone associated with me. Despite this, I would still like to help where I can, and I have in the past, and I need some help myself.
Do you know where I can find them?
I do. She offers you an arm. "Please, shall we walk?"
Forgive me, ma'am, but always on duty.
Very well.
I cannot take you off. But the hand sort of hovers near his, sort of goes down to his pistol or his cuffs. Too. Quite zealous.
Well, this
Thinking
way.
of like one of the regulators touching an arm by and but he's thinking to himself, he's like,
He's young. He's young and inflexible, and he's thinking, Gaius was like that once. Until I...
Get your truncheon
Just had
out.
a few more limbs. Wait until you've had a few more limbs blown off. He'll be in the zone.
Once he's been in this mansion a while and he's corrupted like the rest of them.
You've got some catching up to do.
She begins to lead you away from Jackson's Strand, gesturing towards the small shanty town where the strange otherworldly house hides. You don't like to think about that place, Carell. It feels wrong. And I'm just going to grab a drink.
Additional contrast paints for the first time.
Oh yeah. What are you painting?
Yeah.
I can't see them. I can't see cameraman. All I can see is two swirling blue boxes.
Oh yeah, no, because my camera's
So is, mate. What are you painting? What are you painting with your contrast paint?
painting some sort of weird frost beast from a Hero Quest expansion set.
Oh, nice.
Frost Beast.
They work quite well, the old contrast paints.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at him. He's like a big troll or something.
He is. He's like a big ice troll. So he's
Better than I remember
it's the
Hero
first time I've
Quest
got
big.
in about 30 years. I thought I'll get some contrast paint, so I'll just coat something white and I'll give it a whirl. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Some big beastie.
Nice.
Got Yetis as well for me to do as well.
Yeah, the models have come up a
Big
step
stuff.
since the old Hero Quest.
Not the Yetis.
They have. They really have. The Yetis.
The Yetis that
Yes.
were never used.
Not
Oh
yet.
no, that's a different game. Right. This woman, Agatha, continues to speak to you as you walk towards the shanty town.
Not
She
very
says,
much like the snow monster in the Empire Strikes Back.
the what, sorry?
Much like the snow monster in the Empire Strikes Back.
The Hoth monster.
Off monster, yeah, whatever it's called.
Wampa, wasn't it?
That was it.
Was it?
Wampa.
Yeah, that's its name, a Wampa. Because
Wampa.
George Lucas was great at naming things.
Mm.
Yesterday, I randomly remembered...
A fairly good name.
Speaking of fairly good names, yesterday I randomly remembered that in the prequel trilogy, one of the Jedi is called Kit Fisto.
Yep.
I just
One of
popped,
those fellas with the fucking tentacles on his head, isn't he?
yeah, just popped into my head from nowhere. That don't know why I remembered that. But anyway, Agatha continues to speak to you as she's leading you to the shantytown. She says, "Arbiter, there has been some trouble in the carnival of late, and these people here, they like to keep things in-house. They don't trust men and women in positions such as yours. However, one of their own,
Not
a
here.
gentleman
I'm not
named...
here for them.
Well, no, but one of
This
their
time.
own people works with your people, a gentleman named Canny. And he has a rather special friend, I believe, called Miss Vernetta Calamere. I assume you are acquainted?
Are we acquainted? Mm-hmm. Have I met her before?
Well, Vernetta recruited these guys, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm aware of Miss Vernetta.
Well, in the past, Miss Calamere has helped the carnival with some unusual matters, sensitive, dangerous matters. One which our own people here in the carnival were ill-equipped to deal with. I have reached out to her for assistance once more, but I have yet to hear from her. It might simply be that she is otherwise occupied, but I get a feeling that the message I sent her was simply not passed on. I made the mistake of sending it via a gentleman named Slab, and he strikes me as, well, to be blunt, not the sharpest.
Very good. What is this message?
Well, I'm sure you're very busy, officer, but could you do me a favour and just, when you see Miss Calamere...
He takes out a notebook. Old-fashioned notebook.
He says, well,
Stylus.
it's quite simple, Mr. Officer Hathard. I would just like you to be a dear and ask Miss Calamere to come and find me as soon as possible. I would ask myself, but my relationship with your people is not at the level where I can simply walk into their home. I'm sure you understand. The thing is, Arbiter.
Trespassing is a crime.
The thing is, Arbiter. There's been a murder. You've muted yourself, Alan. I don't know what you're saying.
I was muting myself because I was coughing.
Oh,
there.
sorry.
So, I was about to say. I was about to repeat what you said, but in a more Scottish accent.
Yeah,
so.
I had to remind myself that Agatha doesn't have a Scottish accent, or I was going to go, there's been a murder! But no, there's been a murder, officer, and I'm sure you're quite capable of helping yourself, but Miss Calamere is trusted by the people who live here. We need her help.
Was killed. Who was the victim of this brutal attack?
A young dancer by the name of... Wait! It's a perfectly good name. A young dancer acrobat. Her name is Etine. She fell from the trapeze. And Wiley and the others are calling it an accident.
But did she fall? And he sort of leans in and like looks.
Agatha,
really stone.
Agatha leans in towards Carell as well and goes, "That's the thing, officer. I have certain gifts. One of those gifts is the ability to read auras. It lets me perform my entertainment, I suppose some people might call it. I can read moods, detect surface thoughts, and sometimes such auras linger around the dead for a while. And I detected the one around Etine.
You mean you're a psycho?
I am, yes. I have the gift, but don't worry." And she pulls one of her gloves off. She pulls a glove off, and you see she's got a sanctioning brand on the back of her hand. And then she puts the glove back on.
He puts the pistol back in his holster. Give me.
Execute a major NPC, will you? Not like you.
No survivors.
No trace.
Now the thing is, I detected an aura of fear around Etine. And I don't mean, oh shit, I'm falling, I'm going to die fear. I mean lingering, bone-chilling terror. The kind of thing you find around the bodies of those who knew they were about to die. Those that had time to let the fear sink in and grow and stew within their souls. In other words, people who have been murdered. Now, I'm no officer of the law and I'm no investigator, but I can smell foul play around this young girl. And, well, your organisation is unlikely to come down here and help people such as us, but Miss Calamere might be persuaded to help us. Please, officer.
Do you know of anybody that would have a grudge or any reason to off this girl?
No, Etine was a lovely, sweet girl. She never hurt to fly. She had no enemies.
Stick to the facts, man. Must be somebody out there
that is a fact.
Must be something from her in the past that caught up with her.
All I know is that this afternoon, as we were, as usual, preparing to open the carnival, her body was found in the big top. She'd been practicing on the trapeze, and she was dead on the floor.
Now, how can you be sure that it was murder?
Like I say, the aura I can feel from her. That's not just the fear of someone who's falling to their death. That's someone who's had the time to... Yes, officer, I've experienced these things before. I know what I'm talking about.
Write that down, but I'll see what I can do. But now, just take me to where they are.
Are you sure you wouldn't like to go and get your friends first?
Yeah, take me to where they are.
Oh, right, they. Oh, I understand. Sorry, misunderstanding there. Okay, so she leads you to the shanty town, the shanty house. Just a second. She leads you to the shanty house and says, I mean, it's alarmingly quiet in there, but I'm sure they are in there.
If you'll excuse me, Oh, side point. Got a very serious ice storm coming in. Probably won't affect anybody down here, but just be aware.
Oh, thank you,
Happening. It's
officer.
one of the largest. Protect and serve. That's what I'm here for.
Yes, yes, quite. It's a lovely slogan.
What's the one on the Transformers thing, which is what do you call it? It's punish and
Robots in
enslave.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like something like that. It's I don't know what it is. It's on one of the Decepticons.
Yeah.
like a twist
On the police
that.
car.
Yeah, it's very
I'll
cool.
be.
I can't remember
I'll be right back.
what it's called. Yeah.
Okay, so are you
Like that,
heading
really.
heading into the mansion?
Gonna head into the wardrobe. Yes.
Okay. You step through into Narnia. The world shifts sideways for a moment, and you are in the mansion.
I am the law. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not just going to walk in and say that.
It's it's very quiet in here.
Walk around.
You hear
pillars and stuff as well. Pillars and a plush floor.
you hear a voice.
Yeah.
I think I've put Carell on here actually somewhere. Or have I? No. Canny's not there. Canny's upstairs. You hear a voice as you step through into the foyer. A voice. It sounds like a child. And the voice says, "Hello, Carell. Welcome home."
Hello.
Hello.
Do I know about Alyssa?
No, you've no idea about Alyssa. It just sounds like, to you, it just sounds like a child is talking to you.
Who's there? And he's going to draw his pistol and like start going around like.
My name's Alyssa. I live here.
Oh.
Would you like to be my friend?
As an officer of the Emperor's Arbeits, I friend to everyone.
Nonce!
That's excellent news, Carell. I'm sure we'll be the bestest friends. Soon, you'll be my favourite. I'm sure.
Well, I shall do my best.
Are you staying a while? Would you like me to make up a room for you?
Yes, I'm only here on official business. I'm here for a couple of days. I have an urgent message for Miss Calamere.
Oh, Vernetta's asleep at the moment.
Well, how long has she been asleep for?
Approximately 41 minutes and 27 seconds.
Yeah. Be a bit impatient and just sort of like right back on his heels, like, so I'll have to wait then.
You're welcome to
Perhaps
take a
the room
room.
is. I'll take the room.
And this is the point at which I realise that somehow I have lost an entire floor of the mansion. And I don't know how I've done that. Where has that gone? How very, very strange. Okay. And she says, please, head upstairs to the second floor. Turn right. Your room's the third room on the right.
Affirmative. Just going to ride with purpose the directions that it's been given.
Okay.
What am I wearing? Am I wearing sort of like civilian clothes, or am I just as a Arbite?
I imagine
some
because
sort of
you've been travelling on your own through the hive and you're kind of a bit incognito, you're probably in civvies, but I imagine you've probably got like a kit bag with all your fucking armour and shit with you.
course.
You wouldn't go far without it, would you? So, as you get to the top of the first flight of stairs, you see this gallery of paintings in front of you. This at the centre of the display are these two tall, like life-size portraits. One of a very dark-skinned, handsome man. One of a quite coldly beautiful woman with very pale skin, long blonde hair. And arrayed around them all are pictures of what look like these two people and their ancestors and families. Would you like to examine any of the pictures, Johnny?
Yes. I'm going to examine the pictures.
Would you like to examine one of the two big pictures or one of the smaller pictures?
Probably one of the big pictures, Dave, because you've got something written for that one.
Which one would you like to examine, the man or the woman?
Woman first.
Okay, you stare at this picture. It's very, very well done. It does, for a moment, you think it's a pict that's been blown up, but then as you look closer, you can see the brush strokes, and you realise that it is actually a painting rather than a pict. And this woman is quite clearly very regal in appearance. She carries herself well. She's an attractive woman, but there's something cold about her. There's no hint of a smile in her eyes or her mouth. Make a willpower test at -10.
Point.
Alan, you'll be pleased to know that in your absence, I have baited Johnny into looking at the portraits at the top of the stairs with another character. So that's Siegfried and Carell now have examined the paintings. So the downward spiral.
Find Carell, sorry.
Where will you find Carell? I think
Oh,
it's in your folder. I think I put everyone at Alan's request. Put everyone's characters into specific named folders because Alan was bitching about my filing system.
Well, I mean, you want me to speak the truth, Joe?
I do.
I
do.
Okay, and the truth that I feel is that your
logical.
filing structure does leave perhaps a little to be desired.
Well, tell you what, make some notes. Tell me how you want to see it arranged. I will happily do that for you. And I'm not even taking the piss. I will happily do that for you.
Oh my word, that's such an offer.
Because I know where everything is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not going to take that offer about it.
Please do, please do. And you will maybe find some extra notes as well. Every now and then. What's this note? Why does it say "fuck off, Alan" on it?
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself, Alan.
No.
No, but honestly,
I'm glad that we could be honest with one another.
I am notoriously disorganised, so if you do have some genuine suggestions on how to make it better, please let me know. I mean that.
I mean, just okay. Well, we're on the subject. Just hold on one second. I just want to, just put something to you. Okay, so I was looking earlier and I thought, I just want to recap on the objectives. Objectives are an important part of the game. I want to get everyone together, talk about the objectives, just get a bit of focus back on what we're doing, right? So let's have a look. So, story? No objectives in story. Where do I find that? The warband. Okay, so we've got the objectives are in the warband.
Yeah, because they're the warband's objectives.
That's also where my characters are. So they're all like mingle together with the objectives. So I don't know. It's just.
But yeah, I will happily. It takes 5 seconds to move folders. So if you want things moving around, please tell me where you want them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm.
Do you also like how in objectives there are 4 handouts?
I do. Yeah.
The thing is, right. The way I've got it organised makes absolutely perfect sense to me. But my brain, that's how my brain is filed. Right? Nothing is in the right place in my brain either. So,
no, I'm not the leading example as to how brain should be filed either. So it's, but this, all I can say is my own truth, and that is that sometimes I'm looking for something, and I haven't a fucking clue where I'm going to find it, and I rage against Dave's filing.
What's amazing is it's not happened much, but every now and then you'll be like, "Where would I find such and such?" And I go, "It's in the it's
there or thereabouts."
It's fucking. I don't know where I've put it. Can't you find it yourself?
Nobody.
Obviously not. I think I'm missing a search function in the filing system.
Yes, there is one.
Is that? Where are we at?
Scroll right up to the top of the journal. There's a little search box.
Is there? I don't see that. It's not on mine anyway.
Oh, in there, it must be a GM thing. Here you go, look. I'll show you. It's in the Discord chat.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, look. There's a file there that you haven't seen called Autopsy Report. A delicately, a carefully, lovingly created file that you'll never see. Another one. So Carell has gone to bed after.
I mean, we're not the best investigators, Dave. I mean,
I
that
know.
much has been established. We don't need to labour that point.
I love the fact that I know that about you all, but I keep making all this stuff for you that you never see, and I love that I make it and it just gets binned. Right. So Carell has gone to bed. Carell has had a room made up for him. Oh no, he hasn't. He's examining the picture of Mesmeron, and he's making a willpower test for me.
I failed it
He's failed.
by 4 degrees.
40. I would like you to gain 5 insanity points, please, Carell. As you look at this picture, you can feel this like weight on your shoulders, and it's heavy and oppressive, and you feel like the walls are closing in on you. The darkness of the shadowy corners of the room seems to be darkening and spreading, and you feel a little sick and queasy and nauseous, and then something seems to almost shake you. You feel like you're physically shaken from it, and you snap out of it. And you look back at the picture and it just looks like a normal picture again. But something odd definitely happened here, Carell. And you know what? You know what, Carell? It smells like heresy.
Heresy. And he's going to
It's rife around here.
grip his pistol tight and subconsciously sort of reach for his baton. Any excuse to batten something or someone.
It's going to batten the painting.
Batten the shit out of anything remotely heretical.
Pepper spray it.
Some pepper spray as well, yeah. Or the 40k equivalent is a bolt pistol.
Bolt spray. It's just an aerosol full
Bolt
of
spray.
millions of tiny bolt shells.
Yeah. Crowd control.
Are you heading off up to bed?
Yeah, I'll have a look around, a bit of an investigate first.
Hayden lived. I saw
check
him
there.
move. He's gone now, but he was there.
Potential avenues of attack and just be very sort of vigilant, sort of a bit wary.
Okay. You know you've been here
Haunted
before.
house.
You know that this mansion is odd and strange, but you have been told by your superior, Justicar Drummond, to ignore some of the stranger things you would see, because at the end of the day, these people serve the Holy God Emperor's orders. But this whole thing is unsettling to you, Carell. You're a very by-the-book kind of guy.
Why do I smell heresy in the house of the servants of the Emperor? He thinks to himself in his own voice.
And there is so much of it to smell. Eventually you find your room.
Is the room remotely heretical?
No, the room is, yes, but not in a way that Carell would notice. It looks like a very, not ordinary by any stretch of the imagination, it's a very fancy room. It's, probably the fanciest room that you've ever slept in. It's clearly been designed for a noble. The whole room is larger than your apartment, down hive. The bed is the softest, most comfortable thing you've ever slept in. there is no way that Corel
Yeah,
could ever know that most of it is made of Eldar Wraithbone.
He's going to take the soft heretical bedding off on the hard surface. Although he has second thoughts and he sort of gets
It's a cushion.
gets a pillow
For the God
and then looks around just to see if anybody's watching and just like, all the seven know about this.
God Emperor
Down.
won't judge me for this, surely.
Make an awareness test.
This pillow isn't heretical. It's
You
all
make-
above board.
Heretical duvet!
Hayden lives.
Oh, Hayden. Johnny.
Well,
Back in the game.
Hey, second wind.
Second win, man.
Johnny, can you make a... You've been asleep for about 2 hours, I think.
yeah, I think so.
Just under.
Quarter to 7, he nodded off.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Johnny, can you make a awareness test, please?
And awareness. This isn't great.
Who's the goth chick?
No, just feeling aware that he's made of Rathbone.
Yeah, you're pretty certain that you're not being observed in your room. So
I
who
think it's Agatha
that's
Hayden.
that's Agatha Hayden, the tarot card reader from the carnival. That you've all encountered her at some point.
What does the AI
Shot
make
of
him
laying a
look
hand on an
like?
officer of
Better
the
than-
Emperor's Arbiters.
I mean,
I resisted
I
the
mean,
urge.
makes my dick twinge. Looks all right.
Right. Before I move on,
You're saying you would.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I think the general consensus is most of my NPC women are designed that you probably would.
Well, they
I
got a
just like
pulse, so most people would.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Mm.
I like to think of my.
Ridiculously skinny. She's got all the right curves.
Yeah, she's a
definitely.
good looking woman. I like to think of
Yeah.
my game as a bit like an American TV show where nobody is unattractive. Even the hideously scarred people are still somehow attractive.
Beverly
That's-
Hills 90210
yeah,
with bolters.
in space. Space Beverly Hills.
When you see everybody, they've all got the lips pouted.
Yeah,
But great.
we're inquisitorial agents.
Yeah.
We're gonna fight crime.
Like a Zoolander.
We're gonna fight crime and heresy with our cleavage and very short skirts. Right, so I'm gonna give Hayden a
Kind of how I
rundown.
envision it all as well.
What's that about soft genitals? You can leave that alone, man.
Right, Hayden, I'll give you a little rundown of what's happened while you've been asleep. So, first of all, Siegfried returned from his mission. Yes, you have. Siegfried returned from his mission and got shot down. His shuttle got shot down, crash landed outside the Hive City. A load of pressure point mercenaries turned up to kill him, basically, and him and his crew were saved by a blast from the past, Gnaeus Lucilius, who
What?
yeah,
Not fucking this.
your friend from Iacanthos turned up and did the classic, holding his hand out to Siegfried and say, "Come with me if you want to live." And he rescued Siegfried, and he's explained that Siegfried has a price on his head. The Devord family, which is going way, way back to Iacanthos, a woman that Siegfried executed, her family have put a price on Siegfried's head. They've killed the rest of his family, which we already knew. He's got a 4 million credit bounty on his head. And it turns out that Gnaeus found out about this, and Gnaeus owes Siegfried his life after what happened on Iacanthos, so he's basically pledged his life to Siegfried now. Then we came back to the mansion. Spring told Vernetta about the crime. Vernetta gathered everyone present in the mansion to the bar and discussed strategy, how there isn't any, and how there should be. And she said, basically, we've got 3 objectives. One of which is, where's the orb? No one knows where it is. Canny's probably got it. She also said we need to find Spire, and she also said Scale is also on the list. There was a bit of a discussion about that, about how we haven't been on target, we haven't been on mission for some time. She said no one's to leave the mansion. Then Silas was there. Silas has got the chance to go on a little mission. Tomorrow, Vernetta is going to fix Gaius. But she suggested that some people should go down into the ravine where Spire was last seen and search for signs of him. And at the moment...
the Spire Squad.
Yeah, at the moment, the list of potential people to go on that is Hannibal, the Syrian twins, Canny, possibly Carell, because he's just turned up at the mansion, and maybe Silas would like to go, because Gaius isn't going to be ready to at that point. So that's like a little side mission for whoever wants to go on it. Gaius has got his own mission tomorrow. As this was going on as well, Seraph spoke to Hannibal. Seraph failed to hit anybody. Seraph spoke to Hannibal and said, tomorrow night there is this invitation to Lady Pagni's birthday dinner. And Seraph has been invited. She's got a +1, so she's invited Hannibal along. And the guest list for that is... where are we? Gaius is invited as well to try out his new digestive system.
Yeah,
so
how nice.
So the invites are Lady Pagni, of course, and her +1 is Gaius. Siegfried, and of course the lovely Trantia. Seraph and Hannibal, and then Vernetta has been told she can go. She's also got a +1, but she hasn't decided on that yet. Then Alyssa has been set to searching the data sphere for signs of Spire, massacres, murders, things like that. Sorry?
No, you said set to do this as not set to stun.
No, not set to stun, not yet. Vernetta has stolen back her servo skull from the wagon for now to help with their search for Spire. Canny,
take it out of my truck.
Yeah, she's nicked it off your truck. Canny did a thing that no one knows about.
Spare is more important than your looting out in the waste, Silas. But Silas does have clearance to leave. He's the only one you can get out and dodge.
Yeah.
But
so you can leave, or you can assist in this this mission to hunt for Spire, basically.
Fuck that! I'll die.
I think Silas is best off in the waste. I think that's his main vibe, right? I think he's best off out there.
I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame you couldn't get the wagon down into the ravine, because if you do encounter Spire there, a twin-linked autocannon could come in handy. But but you're not going to get that down there. You could technically, I suppose. You could teleport
just
it
wouldn't
down
get back
there.
up.
No, you could teleport it, couldn't you?
Just drive it off the top. It'll soon get down there.
It's got a teleport homer on it, and Vernetta can teleport things in and out of the mansion. So you could technically get the wagon down in the ravine. But anyway, that's something to figure out later. Hannibal and Seraph had a knife throwing competition. Hannibal won by a country mile. Then we cut to Carell, who witnessed a waste storm rolling in, which is a very deadly combination of sandstorm and radioactive fallout and general filth that will kill you or mutate you. And he has been sent down hive to the mansion to warn the Inquisitorial Warband of this waste storm. And he's got a list of locations in the hive that are not safe because, there's massive holes in the hive skin wall and things like that. He's travelled down here. He's encountered Agatha, the fortune teller, who has asked him to fetch Vernetta to help because there's been a murder in the carnival. A young dancing girl has been killed. Everyone else thinks that she's fallen to her death from the trapeze where she was practicing, but Agatha believes she was murdered because she's basically said she can detect auras, and she can detect this aura of abject fear around the body. So she thinks she's been killed. Carell Carell then entered the mansion. He's just examined the paintings because Johnny took the bait twice now to look at these pictures. He's looked at the picture of Mesmeron and gained a little bit of insanity, and now he's sleeping uncomfortably in a very exquisite bedroom. So
Threw off the quill. It's too heretical.
it was about midnight, Hayden, when Silas got back to the mansion and then had this briefing with Vernetta. Is there anything else Silas would like to do before bedding down for the night?
Oh yes. It's gonna. You say Vernetta's got his bloody orb. He's not happy about that.
No, he's not an orb. He got the servo skull, which is her servo skull that she lent
Oh,
you.
okay. That's fine then.
Well, Hayden,
That's fine, then.
there was one thing that Vernetta said in this briefing. I don't think it matters to Silas, but he was trying to find out where the orb went. That come out of fucking Gallows Way.
I've seen one of those before.
I hear Hayden as well.
Yeah, I must have seen one of those before. That sounds plenty around here. I'll keep my eyes peeled, Vernetta. Be fine.
Cheers, mate.
No worries. Anyway, if you don't want to keep me in this weird, like, house of weirdos and wonders, I'm gonna get back in my truck and leave.
Best place for you, Silas.
Are you going tonight? Or are you waiting till morning?
I think I'll wait till morning. The little feminine voice in my head.
All right. That was Alyssa just butting in. Are you going now? You're my favourite. Won't you stay the night?
That's very funny, right?
All right. But only if we keep it secret between me and you.
Of course, I'm the best at keeping secrets. I know all sorts of secrets.
Sorry.
Okay. Is there anything that Silas wants to do before sleeping, Hayden?
Oh, yeah.
Go on then.
No, there's nothing.
Oh.
It's all right.
Fair enough.
Just like saying that, yeah. There's probably a long list, but the game needs to crack under it. And
You've just been asleep for 2 hours, mate. If you want to do something, do something.
Hayden, mate.
I'm going to keep Gaius from getting up.
You are. That's true. But Gaius is going to get up one day, no matter what.
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah.
There's no
So no one
rush.
minds, mate.
If you want to do something with Silas, then by all means do.
Well, it's going to go to the local little common room in the house, have a couple of shots of something to himself, sit in a really big chair and feel important in front of the fire.
That's convenient. That's convenient because that is exactly where the briefing took place. That Vernetta called. Anyway, I don't know if you can still see the map. You should be able to. But Silas is there. Look, Silas is there. I did have him perched on a table, but now he can sit on a chair. And you're not alone. You're not alone. Like Theranos and Titulos and Ted and Vernetta and Jarek and Spring, they've all gone to bed. And you're sat here having a drink by yourself. But Slab's there too, in the corner, asleep, stood up. And he's got a blanket sort of draped over his head that Jeeves has put there. And he's softly snoring. And it's quite a relaxing sound, this deep, rumbling, gentle
Every now and then
snore.
he goes, oh, fishy.
Well, Silas is that one little shot's gone right to Silas's head. He's going to have a piss next to Slab and then leave the room.
Radio. Okay.
You know.
Nice to see Silas is not house trained.
He lives in the
So
outdoors.
dedicated the waist. Dedicated the waist.
Hey, you piss.
I know.
You piss where you want in the waste. You're lucky he hasn't just fucking recycled his piss and drank it again.
It's the whiskey which has gone to his head. He doesn't know why he's doing
His
it.
inhibitions have gone in his fancy place. He thinks, oh, it's
Yeah.
novel having all this wood to piss on. You don't get that out in the wastes.
First thing I could think to do in your game, Dave, is piss on something.
I don't know.
help it.
I
It's
don't
been
know
a while.
why
Is
you
this
would do
revenge?
that.
Is this revenge piss? Is that what we're discussing here? Is this
It's
like-
not an arms
I
race.
don't know. It might be. Anyway,
It's not
I'm going
grudge
to
piss.
trail it across the chairs for a second, then leave the room.
Fucking grudge pissing.
Yeah, grudge piss.
Okay, I'm just going to make a note of that. Grudge piss.
Wait a second. It's not right. It is not right. Give me a second.
I can't help it that I keep making characters in Hayden's game that would piss everywhere they go. You know,
I mean,
it started off, I was mostly dog, so it made sense, you know, I was marking my territory. Now I'm a goblin who has no concept of, you know, personal hygiene or how to use a toilet, so I'm going to piss everywhere. If Hayden made a game where he was like, I want everyone to be a very posh,
Civil nobles.
very civilized person, then I wouldn't be pissing everywhere. But Hayden's giving me the bullets, I'm just firing them. I'm just
he
going to
brought
get
it on himself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm just going to get a beer. Hang on.
Yeah, sorry. You know.
No, it's all good. I know, like, as soon as you said, "Oh, you've been playing since one," man, I was under no illusions that you know, if you've been playing since one, there's no way you're not going to need a nap before you can play.
Oh, I want to apologise for that.
Yeah.
Revenge week.
Oh, eventually, how you apologise for? You shouldn't apologise for what you're not sorry on.
Yeah. God, what did he take me for? That's soft.
What the fuck has just happened here? That's weird. That's really weird. Okay, so night comes to the residence of Mesmeron's magnificent mansion. And it's a peaceful night, a quiet night for most of you. But there's one person who has been doing some very shady things lately. Keeping things they shouldn't, eating things they shouldn't. Canny. Just a second. What's this? Canny. Darkness. Not quite total darkness. There's faint light, greenish white, familiar somehow. A chamber, walls that seem to ripple as though alive, glinting like steel in the faint glow of this unearthly light. But you are safe here. You are fed here. You are chained here. And you pull at the bonds that bind you to the wall. And they pull back.
Shop.
They tighten like living coils of rope. Calm yourself. Remember our deal. The voice comes from above, beyond the glass ceiling. A figure watches, clad in red robes. Snaking mechadendrites hang over his shoulders as he peers down at you. He manipulates levers and switches. Today, I want to talk about what you call the pattern. I don't recall that, you say. The passenger does. Of course. My apologies. The pattern. You say you hear it always. No, I didn't. It did. But it has not heard the pattern since the fall. It calls to us, it leads us, directs us, them, enslaves us. The fall. You've mentioned this before. What is it? The disconnect. The Saints Purge! And you say your people were not the only ones to hear. Not my people. Not my people. Not my people. My apologies. Their people were not the only ones who heard the pattern, correct? No. All who joined heard the pattern! All others would hear the pattern in time! The saint knew. The saint silenced the pattern. The saint freed us. The saint purged them all, correct? No! Not all. Not all! Some he freed. Some were his kind. Some he released. Feed me! For they would one day return the favor. Some escaped too. And was that your kind? Those that escaped? Some, yes. Feed me. Did you escape? No! I was away. I was stationed elsewhere. A position of honor. I guarded the meat. You were not on Decilium when it fell? No! But I felt the disconnect, the absence. I knew. We knew. We? You mean your kin? There were 2 others found with you, yes? Yes! This meat-form disconnected one. His mate, the other. I would have relished consuming his flesh. But then the marked one saved him. Us. She pulled him from that place. She made us one. The marked one? The woman. The woman who was here, and now is not. Why do you call her the marked one? She is tainted! Singled out for greatness by the powers beyond this plane. She has seen the truths, and it has seen her. She will be the undoing of you all. Is this the woman? No, sorry. Wait a minute. Is this the woman? Says another voice. A short, balding, obese man with 2 augmetic legs and 1 augmetic arm. He holds up a data slate. Upon it is a pict. And you see the image. The woman. The marked one. And you know her name. Antonia, you whisper. You remember her? No, but the flesh meat does. His name is Gladstock. No, it was. Now he is we, and we are one. The Master's return, we shall serve. You shall all be meat. You awaken, Canny. Sweat pouring from your body. You feel sick. You feel strong. You feel blood and bone and meat. Come hither, come worship at my feet, little one. I summon you answer, my pet, my champion, my taker of skulls and drinker of blood. Blood, blood, coursing, running in rivers beneath the cities of men. Come, champion, come and sing the song of blood with your master. You are mine, and mine alone. No! Come to me, my swollen beauty. My touch will make you strong. My blessed touch can grant ye life eternal. Thou would be a mountain of glorious pestilence at my side. No blade or club shall harm thy blessed flesh. If you just open up your wounds to me, let me in. I bring you gifts. Darkness. Not quite
Nurgle.
total darkness. There is a faint greenish white light, familiar somehow. A chamber with walls that ripple as though alive, glinting like steel in the faint glow. You are safe here. You are fed here. You are not chained here. A figure watches you from the corner of the cell, dressed in the dark, hooded robe that seems to swallow what little light there is here, and something moves beneath the hood, writhing like worms. Thousands of tiny, metallic worms. Fight them, says the voice. Take refuge in the darkness, in the shadows, and do not let them in. You are strong. You can resist them. I'd like you to make an awareness test, please, Canny.
Hell. It's going to be one of those days.
You do not recognize the voice. And you awaken, Canny, for the second time. The room feels cold. The book by the side of the bed, on the little nightstand where you left it, appears to be intact, whole. And leaning up against it is the black, iridescent orb. It's a new day on Decilium. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah.
Finders keepers.
Oh, right. Just a second. I got your message, by the way, Dave. I saw that. Fair enough.
That's all right.
I'd like you to make a general fellowship roll, and I think you maybe get a bonus for this. So let me just check that. Right, who are you? You are not on that sheet. That's who you are.
Some nice progress, Johnny. I can't hear you, Johnny. Can anyone say Johnny?
No, I can't hear Johnny.
Can't hear you, Johnny, mate. Can't hear you, buddy. Balls.
I hear me.
I can hear you now.
Briefly.
Where the fuck is Han? Oh, there he is. 25. So you
Can
get...
you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, you get a +5 to this, Hannibal.
What am I rolling on?
Fellowship. Yeah.
That's really good with Hannibal. See? I'll use a thingy point.
Okay. So, right, Serap's also quite socially awkward. So you make a good pair. But
Marginally less shit.
most of her social awkwardness comes from the fact that she was possessed by a demon for a time. What's your excuse, Hannibal?
I was born, raised, and fought in a jungle against Tyranids and orcs.
All right, it's not a fucking
Founded by
dick
men.
swinging competition.
Competition.
Not only was it a jungle, it's a jungle that wanted to eat you.
All the good jungles want to eat you.
That was just the dirt.
Right, where is the timeline? There it is. Just a second. 73816. The timestamp, according to standard imperial practice, is 273.816 M41. or more commonly known as Power Play Day 35. Or, to abbreviate it, PP35.
EP.
It is a new day. There are things to do. There are certain things that are expected of you today. But on the whole, you can do whatever you'd like. So it's breakfast time. At this point, by the way, Siegfried and his friends are going to get healed at some point during the night. So I'd just like to do that very quickly before we move on. So Siegfried, what is his skills? 56. That's 86. So Siegfried, you're on like -8, right? That's not great. So that's 5.
Yeah,
You heal 5 wounds. Are you there, Johnny? I can't hear Johnny now.
He's I can't hear you again, Johnny. Like you
Heard him
agreed
says it's
before.
not great.
Yeah, something about your sensitivity where it's sometimes it's working, sometimes it isn't. So
Okay. Was Emmy wounded?
Yeah, everybody got wounded when it crashed, didn't it?
Oh yeah, of course it did. Yeah, so Emmy wound. He does a better job with Emmy. That is 5.
He had 3
plus-
wounds.
Oh well, she's
Oh.
fully healed then.
hey, Johnny.
That's better. Yeah. So you heal 5 wounds, Siegfried. Plex heals. That would be 3, 8 wounds,
I'm on 2.
and Serena. That's 9 wounds for Serena. I think Hayden's. Oh, Hayden is there. Is Hayden making some sort of nest?
Walking in circles.
Oh, Hayden's getting all weird. Look. Oh, he's turning himself into a witch. Oh, don't! It's creepy. Hayden the Christmas Witch.
That's warm, Hayden. That's what that is.
That's a great character name, Hayden the Christmas Witch. Serena heals 5 wounds. No, 8 wounds. I said, didn't I?
Can't hear Hayden. Can anyone else?
9 wounds even. No, I can't hear Hayden.
I haven't heard him for a long time.
He's not muted.
No, I've unmuted the snoring.
Hang on. Oh. Hello?
Hello.
I can hear Hayden
Hello.
now. Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah. I just disconnected and reconnected. Let me just make a note of that. So Siegfried was 5. Emmy was 3, did I say? Or was it 2? Whatever.
She healed to 4 and she had 3 wounds.
Yeah.
Like how I've turned black and white and everything else is colour around me.
You still colour on. Yeah. Well, that's what happens with me when I'm downstairs. My camera's gone off, hasn't it? Like when I'm
It's all right,
downstairs,
like it.
there's no colour on me. I think it's something to do with the lights. And Serena was. Did I say 8 or 9 wounds for Serena?
8.
8.
True.
Okay, so you guys are all healed back up in Lady Pagni's mansion. So now it's day 35. I'm just going to nip to the toilet, and then we'll see what everyone wants to do.
Who's Emmy then? I think I've missed out a few times with this Emmy.
No, you didn't. It's my character, Johnny's henchman.
Okay. Probably fell asleep.
Yeah, Emmy's a new addition.
She look like that. Wow.
She's with the pink mohawk. She's a painted angel ganger.
Ah, okay.
A massive laser pistol.
That's so rude. I shouldn't think about that. just he's a paid angel and as well as some tattooed funny lips.
You never know. And you never will.
Now I can hear his dulcet tones now.
Yeah.
Christmas witch laughter.
Witch. Oh, I can't believe it. Such
Yeah,
a
we
bad
are.
reputation.
Had to rejoin.
Yeah, but the Christmas ones, that's
Yeah.
all right.
Oh well, that's okay. I mean,
Fine.
like, still can't believe I'm known as the witch of the group. I'm like the holiest person around.
What a witch would say.
only the holes in my morals.
I just think, when you say that thing and then you start grinning immediately after, it kind of gives the game away. That's all I'm saying. If you just say it and then immediately laugh, like at the preposterity of your own, giving the game away, mate. You're gonna keep your poker face on. If you want to survive as a witch, man. You've got to try to hide it.
No, it's the key. It's the key. You just gotta laugh at the right points.
Don't let it
You know what I
show,
mean?
man.
I've seen you roll a lot of sixes.
To false security. Then hit them with your poker face. Yeah, I do roll a lot of sixes and criticals on roll 21 under GM, unfortunately. Guess to help that one.
Killer GM.
It's like, yeah, I know. Roll 20 wants to do that to me.
The joys of GMing, I suppose.
Yeah. If I do it honestly and do roll 20, I'm like, shit, I'm killing them all off quickly. Just keeps giving me killing walls.
Oh, that one.
I can hack roll 20 as well.
Yeah, I think it's hacks roll 20. Yeah, nice witchery. Yeah, witch hack. That's what we call this one, witch cat hack. Oh, you missed out a treat last game. They pulled a dead goblin from a treasure chest.
Oh god, yeah, it was weird. Wearing a tutu and everything. Exactly what I thought it was.
I knew it was going to be that. That it was. So.
When you started describing it, I was like, "That's just fucked up, man." Bad.
I know. Holding his biggest sex change.
Yeah. I'm not wearing it. Honest anything.
It's making it even slightly darker. Yeah, it was.
He was there, and you had Tom. Johnny was there, was he? And
I had two dark players in the group. I had to
Take it there. I think it's a dark
GM accordingly to the darkness of my players.
You have to read the room, don't you?
Yeah, that was it. That was it. The room smelled like that.
Dark or
dark.
Funny.
I'm back.
Welcome, Black.
Right. Day 35. Obviously, certain things today that you have on your schedule. Fixing Gaius up. The dinner. But other than that, the day is yours. You don't have to do either of those things, but they are what's on the table at the moment. So, with that being said, let's go around the table, so to speak. So, we'll start with, simply because this is the order I can see you in Discord, Hannibal.
He's got to get his tuxedo sorted out, hasn't he?
Yeah. So, first of all, let's have the breakfast session, just in case there's anything anyone wants to say to the group. So there'll be a moment where you're all at breakfast. Mrs. present
What's
too.
breakfast?
It's the usual traditional Thessalian breakfast, of course. Which is basically a full English space breakfast.
Space breakfast.
Space breakfast, my God.
It's basically the same as a full English breakfast, but you don't want to think too hard about where some of the meat comes from. And is that some sort of body piercing in one of the sausages? That's out of Dark Tide. I've not heard it before. I heard it today. One of the psychers says something like, "This morning when I was having my breakfast, I found a body piercing in it. How did it get there, I wonder?" Right, so I'm going to... so if there's anything you want to talk about as a group this morning, before we move on.
Can Corell just announce himself and just deliver his report on the thing?
Yep, sure. By the way, Alan, that is exactly what I was about to do. I was going to put Vernetta in the big chair. Who was it? Was it Siegfried sat in it at one point? Or was it Gaius? I can't remember.
Yeah, nearly got fucking killed.
Yeah, nearly got killed. Mesmeron fucking lost her shit. Get out of my chair, pleb! Yeah. And she also tried to strangle Gaius when he called Mesmeron. It's like, that's Inquisitor Mesmeron.
Could have tried harder.
What's that, mate? I didn't hear that, sorry.
Said I never truly forgave her for that.
No, I know you haven't. I know you've brought it up. You've brought it up a number of times in the past that you are not happy that she didn't just strangle you, did she? She like force choked you and threw you across the room.
Yeah.
She went full Vader on you. Okay, so is there anything you'd like to discuss over breakfast?
Yeah. This guy does have us still in like book grudges. So, what do you reckon is in these space sausages?
Lips and arseholes.
Maybe some corpse starch?
Pilgrims.
Heretic.
Feminist says, well, I fucking hope it's genuine Grox meat because, I mean, that's what we asked for when we went shopping, isn't it?
Well, there may be a percentage of grox in there.
No. We went to the best butcher's topside, right up the top near the spires. It's all genuine imported meat, this. None of it's, re-meat or anything like that.
Processed meat.
I've got my serviette on around my neck, just tucked into my collar before I start eating.
You all notice that Silas eats quite delicately, and he's very careful to not get any breakfast on his clothes.
Also, again, so is anything special you want to find out in these ways, or is just trolling them for trolling's sake?
I don't know. I mean, we seem to be getting money pretty quickly, right? Like, repairing Gaius, it doesn't come cheap.
Ah.
Yeah, anything of value is obviously... yeah,
what do you
it'll
mean?
be all right.
Somebody say Gaius. Where is Gaius?
I'm gonna look at Corral. Yes, he's just he's been
never
badly
met
hurt.
the man.
And, he's just been badly hurt. He's just been going through some medical treatment. We're back on his feet soon, right as rain, better than he ever was before. Don't worry about him.
Perp's been caught.
A perp? What do you mean?
No, I won't do. I've never met the man. Can't worry about nobody. No one don't care about, can you? Got no. Met this whatever his name is, can't bother with caring about him. So, but back to the wastes. You want me to just generate money so we can make more repairs to this Gaius?
No, I mean,
Trolling his own
All right
character.
then. Can you not hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you, mate. Yeah, I can hear you,
Yeah, trolling my own guy.
Slap
don't
called
know.
him.
Yeah, it
Sounds
is.
up, man.
Yeah.
Gay ass.
Spring says, "Hey, look, if you find anything fancy out there,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
I'm pretty sure I can find someone to sell it. I know a few people. Baz, old Chopper, he'll be able to fence a few bits and pieces. Anything, unusual, high tech, fancy, Xenos. I didn't say that.
Harold's
Well, I'll be
Listen, he's
staying
like,
away from Baz's chopper,
armed.
but I might go trade with him. But I'm not into that, and I'm not into his literature, especially after seeing his chopper.
No. Chopper Baz, he's a fence, right? He sells stuff. He's not weird. He's not all. I mean, he might be.
Why would Baz begin out his chopper for anybody? I don't understand this. Is he some sort of X-rated military goods dealer?
No. It's just his name, Chopper Baz.
He's killed before. He'll kill again. The wind seems to say.
Where is
Does
Canny?
he use his big chopper?
That's the point. I haven't put Canny on here, have I?
Oh look, there's
I
Ted.
wouldn't skip
He's
breakfast for me.
tiny.
That's actually that's a very good point, Alan. Canny would be down here for breakfast, I assume, wouldn't he?
You would think so.
Right. So on that note, is Vernetta going to broach the subject?
Oh no, I'm going to cede Vernetta to you, Dave. I'm not going to do it to myself.
Well, that's what I was
That
going
would
to
really
say.
hurt.
I was going to say,
So,
do you want to broach the subject?
Yeah, sure. Go for
Okay.
it.
I'm going to go.
I'll go to canny. I'll go to canny mode now.
Okay. Oh, that reminds me, actually. Canny, since returning from the Gallows Way, was it, in Gantry, nobody seems to have seen the orb. The black orb, the one that we went looking for. It's been suggested that maybe you saw it last.
Oh, I think Hannibal had it last.
Well, it's just that Hannibal said that maybe you had it.
I ain't got it. Ain't got nothing.
I'd like you to make a deceive roll, please. And I'm going to make a scrutiny roll for Vernetta.
Oh, well, I've not got too much to worry about that, I don't think. I'll put a fate point on it, Dave.
Yeah, hid it in one of those rolls of fat he got. Just slipped it in.
Hidden it in his prison wallet.
Nobody in there.
I don't know where it is. I mean, maybe we didn't leave it down there. We didn't leave it down there, did we?
Oh, please tell me you haven't left it down there. We're going to have to go back down there and get it. Unless... where's the good doctor this morning? Maybe it was on... I mean, he stripped all his...
Not Gaius. Gaius had it last, did he?
That's what I mean. If maybe Dr. Pench took it from Gaius's body before doing what he did, I'll go and have a word with Dr. Pench.
Yeah. Anyway, anyone that's hungry?
Venetta's genuinely.
Certainly, I'm big man.
Yeah. Is that to keep the food off you, Silas? Keep you clean.
Oh. That's right.
Yeah. You don't need one of those if you just put it in your mouth without, getting it everywhere.
Says Canny, who is covered in beans and bits of egg yolk.
That's just what you got out of bed, Lloyd.
I don't know. What's your name, Kenny? I think
Kenny.
it's good to have a little bit of self-hygiene.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
And plus, I've only got one of these jackets. I don't want to get covered in bean juice. And those Grox eggs.
In the grim,
Those yolks pop hard out, those Grox eggs.
in the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, there is only bean juice.
I'm gonna try a
Grox
restart.
egg.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm lagging or something. I'm gonna try a restart. I'll be right back.
I like the sound of Grox eggs. Where's Johnny?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you.
Oh yeah, Green Johnny.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, mate. Sorry. I'll turn the camera. Monster.
Green Johnny.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ah, monster.
Ho, ho, ho. Green Johnny.
It's like a
He's grey anyway. Why are we saying green?
Green Johnny.
He's the morally grey Johnny.
It's,
I think when your camera's on, Johnny, it just fucking annihilates your connection and we can't hear you properly.
It probably does, yeah. I think it's. I think that's what it does. So.
Yeah, you go a bit choppy in
I
and
can hear
out.
you.
I could then,
Yeah.
but earlier on it was breaking up a little bit when he spoke.
Yeah, it's it's a bit shit. I'd have a booster, but it's just like a couple of brick walls in the way, so it's
Yeah.
it seems to be interfering with the signal. As it would.
I don't
Well,
have
I don't
these
know.
problems because I'm living in the past and I use inferior cable technology.
But then inferior if you don't have those problems.
Exactly. I don't believe in Wi-Fi.
Hey guys. Yeah. I was getting. I don't know. I don't know if I'm lagging or whatever, or if my mind is lagging, but I didn't feel like
Alan's lagging.
it wasn't right. Well, yeah, it's not unheard of, right? So.
Okay. Anything else anyone wants to discuss over breakfast before we proceed with the day?
Like face.
Agatha.
Lagatha.
Did Carell have a report? Did you say?
Oh yeah, Carell has a report.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll issue it or not actually issue it. Can you tell them, Dan? I can't remember the details.
Yep. So he tells you, Vernetta, I can't either, I'm going to make this up. He tells you of a murder in the carnival.
Murder.
And
Alright.
the woman Agatha, who you are familiar with, who knows Trantia, has asked for your help. And at this point as well, Slab, you remember that you were asked to tell Vernetta about this as well.
I did tell Canny about it, but not Vernetta, because we was doing crime.
Yeah, crime. And he tells you...
I don't remember you telling me anything, Slab.
I told you about the testicles.
Don't remember. Sure, yeah, if I had a message, I'd have passed it on, wouldn't I?
Surely, yeah.
I'd have done that.
So so Carell tells you that, this woman out in the carnival stopped him, asked for Venetta's help specifically because you helped them before with a dangerous and sensitive matter. And
Sounds like a noir mission.
they need your help
How can I
again
resist?
because there's been a murder.
Oh, sure.
All right, Taggart.
Yeah.
So, and also, Carell, you can present your data slate with all the list of areas in the city that are not safe to go in while this waste storm passes by. And it's nowhere. There's nowhere on the list that you would plan to go. Most of the places aren't even places that you're familiar with. They're places that generally are quite low down the hive and on the outer edge of the city. They're not places you would need to frequent, but there is a chance that you might have to go there.
I'll say to Carell, before you go, check out the armory. Take whatever you need.
I will.
Hang on a minute, right? I mean, this is fair enough speaking. Hang on a minute, right? You say before you go, but I mean, you're here now, yeah? I mean, V, you were talking about a little expedition into the ravine, and the people in the carnival said they need our help, and the Inquisitor did say we should help them if they ask for our help. And if there's been a murder, I mean, and they point at Carell, I mean, we've got a fucking copper here.
Yeah, a man with a notebook.
A man with a notebook who knows how to fucking use it.
It's very sensible. But before he goes on a mission, he needs to hit up the armory. That's
he should probably hit up the armory. There's shit in there, but I mean, what I'm saying is, there's a murder needs investigating, and a demon host that needs tracking down, and there's all us round a table. So we're going to go do some, actual work.
There's no stolen. Nothing stolen in there.
Someone's life has been stolen.
Weapons in the pick off.
I'm getting choppy, Johnny, again.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't hear that properly, mate.
Yes, but the weapons. Like, can you now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Genuinely?
Yes.
No. Well, I'd say just keep talking, mate, and we'll see. I'll say it's better than it was, but before I couldn't make out. It was like a bit choppy.
Okay.
Yeah,
no, I was just saying.
Even on my phone collection, it's choppy.
Yeah.
I can hear you all right, mate. I think you sound pretty good now.
Yeah. Okay. I was just wondering if any of these weapons are stolen. Like, that was all.
Well, I mean, we are serving the Inquisition. You understand? Corral. Certain exceptions can be made. In fact, sometimes sacrifices must be made, including our sense of what is right or wrong. You understand, Carol, there's a bigger picture here. The arch enemy of mankind. Do you get it, Carol? Sometimes we have to break a few laws, a few eggs, and you can't make an omelette.
Making a few eggs.
You can't make a re-omelette.
Leslie's going to pipe up at this point and go,
Omelette.
and the other thing, right, mate, a lot of the weapons that are in the armoury, they belong to other people. It's Inquisition tradition, innit? Like, pass weapons down from fallen soldier to, new recruit and that. Some of the gear in there, it belonged to people that lived and worked here before you turned up. So, you don't worry about if they're stolen or not. It's more a case of, the honour of wielding a stolen weapon, right?
I guess I'll have to get
I concur. I mean, if things are found upon the ground and someone has dared gone and decides to leave it there for you, then it's your possession and all right and foresight, I'd say.
Exactly. Finders keepers, yeah?
Finders keepers.
That's the rule.
Right.
Possession is 9/10 of the law, innit?
Hang on a second.
Say if you'd have left your gun on this table for like 3 hours, I would say that rifling means anybody could take it.
Exactly. If it ain't nailed down and if it don't have someone's fucking name on it, yeah, you can take it, can't you? Sorry, I turned into a goblin there for a moment.
How come we're feeding?
It's Carol has his name on his pistol. It says "hath had." Yeah.
Hard hat. Carol Hard Hat.
Of the pistol grip.
Same on the back of his pants, his shoes.
Yeah, Silas is breaking up now.
Everywhere.
Sam, I'm not hearing you properly, Hayden, myself.
So best.
Yeah, it's all there. It's all so
Those
neatly
sides
sewn
say
in.
too half-hard with Mummy's love.
Must be Winston.
Oh no!
Must be a Winston connection.
Yeah, Carol's stuff all says, that's a great idea. It all says, to my darling Carol, love from Mummy.
Mumsy.
No, Mumsy, can't say Mumsy. That's something else from a different game.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Catch some bad guys. Okay. Something like that, I don't know. Catch some baddies. Keep us safe.
Why a policeman's pants too tight?
This sounds like a bad joke.
Justice. Justice.
For them too.
Sorry.
Oh dear.
I just thought of that. Sorry, it's bad.
This is-
but-
This truly is.
That's amazing.
This truly is
That's
dark
amazing.
heresy.
It's the best joke I've heard this.
It's been a long year as well.
Yeah.
It's
They're,
been a long
they're
year.
all long years these days, Alan.
Justice.
Yeah.
Justice.
So, are we doing 2 teams, or are you doing other stuff,
Yeah.
or do you want to go and completely ignore these things, or what?
I don't know. I'd say we should have 2 teams. Let's say one on fucking film noir. We kind of need to do Gaius first, so I don't know if we need to do film noir the next day because Gaius has to come first. Don't you think?
Well, film noir.
You can do it in
Let's
any
get
order
Gaius
you want.
first.
Yeah, so I think like Gaius needs to be repaired. Gaius needs to be back in the
He
game.
needs his time.
But we need
Gaius'
like
time. And
yeah, and we need a
I want to hear
ravine team.
what happens. I want Gaius back.
Okay, yeah, who's on?
The team.
So yeah, so I can't do film noir with Vernetta, which I kind of want to. So it has to be the day after, I think. So
What?
prepare Gaius now. Gaius has slept within that jar. It can't be any life.
Okay. Yeah, so if
We
you
need to
remember,
repair
Hayden, ages ago, Vernetta had like a weird glitch where everything went black and white, and she sort of went into a film noir style detective story.
Oh, yeah.
And that led to the Gene
Okay.
Stealer. Basically, Alan seems to think that's going to happen again. I don't know why Alan thinks that's going to happen again. He can't read my notes or my mind. It is going to happen again. But yeah, if you want to leave that for a day and
I'll
get
say,
Gaius sorted,
I think
that's
for me, Gaius has to come first for Vernetta, so that's like today's
Yeah, I
job for
think
now,
so.
right?
Okay.
So, but I'd still like to send off a ravine team to look after Spire, like ASAP. So, should we pick a team for that? I mean, Hannibal obviously should be leading it, I think. Maybe because Siegfried's not here, is he? So.
Yeah, I mean,
Good
Hannibal also has been down in the ravine before. But it's entirely up to you guys who goes and does that. And if you want to pick a team for the film noir another time, you can. Obviously, anyone that doesn't go on the ravine mission will still get power play day 35. So discuss that amongst yourselves. I'm just going to get a beer. Back in a sec.
Yeah, so I suggest Hannibal, Corel. Who do you want to send?
I'll go.
Hayden on that mission. Have you got like a character
Film
you want
noir
to send?
mission.
Well, no, we've got like there's a couple, right? There's a film noir, and there's also we're looking after target, I think. And
We're looking after him.
Well, we're looking for him. I
Go,
think.
demon host. Have some tea. Got a bed here.
That's not exactly what I meant.
Would you like a nice warm blanket, Spare?
yeah. Put your feet up. What? Just before I murdered loads of people.
Don't go out without your big coat, Spare.
Yeah, I know. Got to make sure you're warm while you're viciously tearing people apart.
Poor Alan, one slip of the tongue, and that's it.
He'll catch you there.
I mean, you know, I've told you many times, Hayden, you should never apologise when you're not remotely sorry. And also, if you apologise and then
And laugh.
it detracts
Die.
somewhat. It detracts somewhat. It detracts somewhat from the apologies. It's the. But, you know, I've told you before. I'll tell you again. So.
You make me drool.
It's called Alan. It's called evil. That's what it is. It's just simply a matter of evil. All it is.
It's levels of evil. I mean, I can't. No one could compete with Hayden.
The level
on
of
the,
evil. That's all. It's minor evil.
The axis
I
of
think
evil.
when you're not sorry. I think when you're not sorry is just minor evil. Unless you've done something really bad, or you're doing something really bad, that's bad. And that's that takes the
Don't
ransom.
do anything bad.
Right, so who's going on the ravine mission then?
Ravine. So
I'll
this is
go.
looking for Spire.
Yeah, this is down
Outside-
Spire.
It was seen last down a ravine.
So just to
I
remind Hayden, mostly because I think he was missing for that bit, when Hannibal first was introduced to the game, he turned up at the mansion and he was looking for this gene stealer he'd been tracking down. He tracked it to the carnival. Obviously, you guys had dealt with the Gene Stealer, but he wanted to know where it come from. So he went looking for this guy, Paolo Hampton, who is the hunter that brought the Gene Stealer to the carnival. And he was the husband of the woman that was killed by the Gene Stealer. And Horace the Birdman had taken Paolo and chucked him into the ravine, to meet his grisly death. And Seraph and Hannibal went looking with Jackson Strang. They found Paolo. They saved him from some primitive dregs of humanity that lived down in the ravine. But in the battle that they had against these people, there was a psyker, and this psyker lost control, rolled perils, and the perils was a demon host. So I thought, fuck it, I'm bringing Speyer back. So then Speyer laughed hysterically, yelled something at Seraph that I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was something along the lines of, pretty, pretty Seraph, see you real soon, and then darted off into the ravine. And this demon host hasn't been seen since.
Creepy fucker.
Hey, just like, before you start throwing accusations about Speyer being a creepy fucker, let's just point out that the only reason Speyer is here is technically because of Siegfried. But none of you really know that. Oh, you do now. But anyway, so yeah, the mission is to try and hunt down
Dave,
Speyer.
it's just a time for spreading secrets around.
Just another body to lay at Siegfried's door.
I mean, Siegfried killed Speyer last time. Siegfried struck the killing blow, I believe, against Speyer with a ridiculous crit.
So will Gaius be ready to jump in some ravine tomorrow? Or should I just send
Gaius?
Silas?
Well, I think Silas is best off in the waste, don't you? That's his it's something special that only he can do, right? So I think that's the best use for him.
Yeah, I'll go make money.
I mean, unless if you agree, right? I mean, it's up to you, man.
Yeah, I'll make money.
It's going to take most of the day to fix Gaius today, and then there is the dinner this evening with Lady Pagni.
Oh shit! So I've got to get installed, ready, dressed,
and then you've got to try out your new digestive system. Yeah.
Oh man, but it's only part me eating.
Is what?
I just have a reactor now.
Yeah, we're just going to get a fucking jar of baby food.
Yeah. But no,
like RoboCop.
You
just
can gain.
Stick it in the back of yeah. Dave's right. It's wasted on me.
No, you can eat, and you do gain energy from what you eat, and you can actually eat more than other people. You'll be able to eat a lot of stuff that might not be edible to other people.
Oh, okay.
So you
all the mod cons, guys. Yeah. All the mod cons.
You've got a really fancy. You've got a really fancy top of the range digestive system that Vernetta picked for you that allows you to eat pretty much anything organic and gain energy from it. In addition to being plugged in, but you don't need to charge very often. You only need to recharge your battery about once every 20 days.
Think of the Back to the Future car, when
that's what I am thinking of. Where you took my
blender.
tech peelings down the reactor.
Anything in there.
That's pretty much what it is.
Fusion reactor.
I mean, that's what you get when you've got a 50,000 credit digestive system.
That's amazing. I'm going to eat some rubbish.
You can eat literally anything.
We could have bought a Lehman Rush instead.
Yeah.
Cooling up.
You should have just installed him into a Lehman Rush.
Rattling around in a bin.
That's what you spent your money on.
So who's...
expensive. 64 million credits.
64 million thrown gelt, man. So who's going in the ravine team then?
Carol's going to go.
Yeah. So Carol will sing Canny, I think.
Hannibal, Carell, Canny.
What about you, Hayden? Have you got someone you can take?
What
about Theranos? What about Theranos?
I don't use Theranos.
No, but if you don't want to take Silas on this mission, but you want to be a part of it, you're very welcome to take another NPC and play them for that session when we do that mission.
All right, jump into someone like that then.
So you can take anyone you want. You can take who is there? There's Theranos, there's Titulos, there's Jarek, and there's Spring if you want to take Spring, and there's also Seraph. I mean, there's Les too, but I really wouldn't recommend that.
There's Hannibal's 2 monkeys as well.
Oh yeah, they're here, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
What, Strang?
No. Hannibal's got the 2 guys from Downhive that are part of the gang. They're basically ex-soldiers. Vasquez, Eric, Jen, and there's 3 of them, isn't there? There's Vasquez,
Light as well.
Light, which is Brownie's secondary character, and Eric, which Johnny was playing, but it's not set in stone. These 3 guys here. So
They're all being trained up to be catcher-chans.
yeah, they're all ex-guardsmen.
Got red headbands and all.
They know what they're doing. They know the right way. They know the way around a weapon and stuff like that. So, to give you a rundown, Vasquez is literally Vasquez from Aliens, but she's got a bolt pistol and chainsaw. I think. I won't let you play Light because that is James's character that he made. Eric is what's Eric got?
Didn't he have a fucking heavy bolter or something?
Yeah, he has got a heavy bolter, but he's got other stuff as well. Let's have a look.
These guys are ridiculously well equipped. I'm going to be Eric.
Well, they're supposed to be. They're all guardsmen. Where's Johnny? Eric. Yes, Eric's got. He's got good weapon skill and ballistic skill. To be honest, he's quite tough. He's got flak armor. He's got a falchion, which is a sword that can be used 1- or 2-handed. He's got a heavy las pistol. And he's also got a heavy bolter. And he's also got medals.
I know what a falchion looks like in my head.
He's also got a load of medals from Redacted. So I can't tell you.
Falchion looks sort of like a cutlass.
Yeah, but it's heavy, it's long.
Oh, it's got a straighter edge and on the back, but then it curves at the front, doesn't it?
It's like a bit like a cleaver.
Yeah.
It's like between a
But it's
machete
big.
and a cleaver.
It's really big, this sword, as well. It's like a bastard sword size sort of thing. So you could take Eric, you could take Vasquez, you could take Seraph if you really wanted to. Theranos and Titulos, obviously, you're familiar with. Jarek, if you want. Jarek's kind of like... It's kind of like a shield tank. He literally has a shield, but it's not like Gaius' shield. It's a bit of a weird boarding shield, and he has like a spear with an explosive tip, so he can stab people with a spear and it blows up. And he's also pretty good with pistols.
I'm going to be someone sensible, and like Eric Jen is going to sit on the back lines and heavy bolt shit.
Cool.
Go covering fire.
I mean. To metagame ever so slightly, a heavy bolter is a very good weapon to use against a demon host. Obviously,
I'd say it sounds like the best option.
Okay, so that's you 4. That was the main thing I wanted to get covered. Who you'll all be playing. Do you want to take any of the NPCs with you? Bearing in mind that if you do find Spire is a fucking badass. So
Seraph was with Hannibal when it happened.
And she also promised to help you. She's got personal stakes in this.
Yep, so it makes sense for her to be there.
She basically said if you help her bring down Spire, she will help you bring down the Beast House. So she would go, definitely. She'd volunteer to go.
Surely Slab as
Also,
well.
she's most likely to sacrifice herself to let us get away.
Yeah, you could potentially also include Slab because he is there to fight Spire.
Yeah, I think you have to include Slab. So.
Yeah, Slab's a good idea.
Slab was there the last time, right? So
Yep.
Who better?
Slab was there when Spire was in Seraph. Pause for Johnny.
Banded man.
Anyone else?
So that should still one
Jen was
piece.
here.
Split in 2 like it.
Seraph's instruction in that, Slab's instruction in that fight was hit that thing, make it hit you while we do what we have to do. That was basically what his orders were, and that's what he did. He beat the shit out of Seraph while Mesmeron and the rest got in position and captured her. Okay, so that's 6. Is that it? Anyone else?
I just sent 2 more. Good luck.
So Silas is going out in the wastes. Canny, Slab.
Silence is still like sneaking out the back door while everybody can do something dangerous.
Strang was also there.
Strang was there, yeah.
That's how he lost his fucking face.
Yep. That is why he is now so heavily scarred. Okay, so that team on the left is what I've got as going down into the ravine. If you would like to ask Jax or Strang or both of them, they might go with you.
You're in charge, Hannibal. What do you reckon?
Yeah, we'd ask them if they want to come.
What's the number we need in the squad?
I've never fought a demon host before, so fuck knows.
One thing you do know, and I can't remember who told you this, I can't remember where this information came from, but what was told to you at some point was that when you fought Spire before, he was a thrice-bound demon host. Which means, there's a lot of warding on him, a lot of protection against the warp written into his physical being, so he's easier to control. And when Slab and Mesmeron and the others fought Spire was then classed as a twice-bound demon host, so not as heavily bound to reality and instruction. The current form of Spire was not bound. It just manifested and entered the body of this Psyker. So it is an unbound demon host. And in other words, it is much, much stronger than the previous 2 incarnations of Spire.
Okay, just take everyone then. Assuming it's even down there.
Anyone who can do some damage, even Ted. It's no time to be back at the forge.
If you want me, you have my hammer.
Alright. Let's take the whole squad. Let's do it. What about Les, though? No, not Les. You stay behind, mate. It's fine.
No, mate, I'm not going out. Fuck that.
No, you, Les.
Les seems genuinely scared about the idea of going after Spire.
Yeah. So let's even take Silas. Fuck it. Let's take every fucker.
You can take as many as you want. It's entirely up to you as individuals.
You're not guaranteed to see no Spade out there.
But if we do,
rocking around on a big chair.
Just an empty chasm.
Yeah, it's just in the big chair, Benjamin's chair dimension.
on the off chance that you do bump into him, you don't want 6 people.
I mean, I'm not saying you couldn't do it with 6. You maybe could, because you're all pretty tooled up. You're all decent level. Slab on his own could probably withstand Spire's attacks, but what you have to remember is he's a demon host. He's going to be throwing psychic shit and all sorts of shit. But I do think you could maybe do it with 6. I mean, how was the last time? I think there was 8 of you, but you were much lower level.
Let's sort it out so that we're playing 2 characters each, basically.
Yeah, if that's what you want to do, that's fine.
Including you, so that's 10.
Don't make fine.
So I've got Slab and Hannibal.
Slab it all.
Slab and all, yeah.
Okay, so Slab and Hannibal.
Slaminal.
So then
Slammable.
oh, there's Corel, Eric, Seraph. So Canny, I'm assuming you don't want to take Vernetta because you want to get Gaius back on the road.
Yeah, that has to be Venetta's priority, I think.
Okay, so do you want to take someone else to play with for this hunt?
Sure.
Who do you want to take? You can take anyone you want.
Sure. Yeah, I'll take Ted if James isn't there.
I'll tell you what. Let's put Ted in.
Okay.
If James can make it for the game, he's more than welcome to. And what I'll do is I'll arrange it so James takes Light and Ted. And you can take one of the other NPCs that I won't be controlling anymore, or something like that. How's that? So if you guys are taking 2 characters each and I'm taking 2 NPCs, then if James takes
your 2 NPCs,
if James takes Ted, then you can have one of the other 2 NPCs, and then I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I'll take Spring and Canny then, I guess.
Okay. So Spring and Canny. Let's put Light with Ted. Corell. Hayden, who do you want to take as your secondary?
Who else has got like who's got good weaponry to take Spire down with?
So Seraph's got. Seraph is on paper quite a good character. It's just I can't roll for shit, as we know. Seraph's got 2 lathe blades. No, she hasn't. She's got 1 lathe blade because she broke the other one. They're balanced, good quality swords. They both have +10 weapon skill. One of them does D10 plus 4 pen 3. The other one does D10 plus 3 pen 3. So they're pretty good weapons.
Was Seraph person she's hosted him before? Was that the other
Yes.
one?
Yeah, Seraph used to be his host. Yeah. So she's got personal stakes.
I'll give Seraph some Hayden luck.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's about time she got some fucking luck.
I'll roll for Seraph.
Yeah, I can't fucking roll for shit.
Well, let's give her a night in me. I'm gonna take a first spin.
Okay, so I'll put.
I'm gonna roll terrible for her all night. Let me say it now.
You want to go on Seraph?
You want to go on Seraph? So that'll be Eric and Seraph.
No thanks. She's hideous.
She's lovely. Eric and Seraph for Hayden. So Johnny, you've got Corell, obviously. Would you like to pick another NPC? We've got Vasquez, we've got Ferinus, we've got Jarek, Titulos, and Big Bone Les. No, Big Bone Les definitely isn't going. He absolutely would not go. Silas is off out in the wastes. So you've got them 4 to pick from. So do you want to run down on what they do? I can't hear Johnny again.
Can't hear him.
Hello, Jonathan.
Grey Johnny.
Grey Johnny is the quietest Johnny. I can hear you now. I can hear you now, yeah.
Excellent stuff. I'll take Ferinus.
Take Ferinus. So Ferinus is the ranged one of the 2 brothers, just to remind you. Ferinus, and also there's going to be a chance to raid the armory before this mission, but Ferinus has loads of weaponry. He's got a las pistol, he's got a las gun that's really good, he's got a heavy stubber, he's got a grenade launcher, he's got a bolt gun. He's fucking kitted out, so we'll have plenty of opportunity. Okay, so those 10 people get tooled up, maybe a little visit to the armory before you leave, and head out into the ravine.
None came back.
They were never seen again.
And
They were never seen.
those 10 people head out, leaving alone in the mansion Vernetta, Big Boned Les, Vasquez, Jarek, Titulos, and Silas heads out into the wastes.
All the cyborgs left. Flesh is weak.
The flesh is
That's up.
Okay.
Start a new Mechanicus section of Inquisition up now. It's time.
Back to the mechanic.
It's
The Minquisition.
okay. So it's 10 to 10. I don't want to start that ravine mission because, to be honest, I have nothing planned for it.
All right.
We're nearly at the end of the game, right? Because we were going to end at 10. Before we do, Vernetta, would you and Dr. Pench like to go to Pagni Tower?
Gaius then.
Yeah,
Yay!
Powering back up.
yeah. Flick the switch. I can't hear you again,
Just-
Johnny.
just-
I don't know what's happening. You
Just
keep
slip
dropping.
it in. Just go by, slip it in. Pull out.
Can you hear me? Yeah. No, I just got this. Started laughing to myself because I just got this image of this the operation that's happened on Gaius being very similar to the Operation board game.
In that case, we are. In that case, we are. Fuck. Honestly.
That's just how I pictured it in my head. I was like, no, that's silly. That's
I'll get the funny bone in.
Okay, so do you want to go and just? It'll only take a few minutes. I'm not going to ask for any rolls. We're not going to actually activate Gaius. We're just going to head over there if you want and make a start.
Oh.
Actually, fuck it. We've got time to make the rolls.
him up to speed. Get him up on his feet again.
It's
Artificial
campaign.
feet.
We can't win without Gaius.
Okay, so
Example to us all.
Robo Gaius.
Vernetta, you head with
The
Dr. Pench.
Gaianator.
You head with Dr.
The
Pench
Gaianator.
through the main door of the foyer, thinking about Pagni Tower, and you find yourself there in Siegfried's suite. Siegfried and
I've got to go.
Siegfried's Siegfried's not there. Siegfried's not there, but Trantia is, and she says, "Oh, hello. Nice to see you both. So we're going to get Mr. Mortalis back on his feet today, are we?"
Well, in some feet. Like mine are in a bag, like with a toxic sign on.
Yours are
Some
in,
sort of incinerator.
See,
yours are in the sausages, mate.
that's the plan.
Yeah, sausages. Plague sausage.
Antia,
Extra seasoned.
extra
Yes,
salty.
yes, Vanessa.
Salty sausages.
Yeah, extra salty.
Trantia, before we get started, you went down to the gallows way.
I did, yes. It was an interesting experience.
Yeah, to retrieve the black orb.
Yes. It was
Where is
nice
it?
to... what?
Where is the black orb?
Where is it?
I mean, like right now.
I remember... I mean, I don't know. I thought Canny had it.
Annie, but he said he doesn't have it. He said it was Hannibal.
Oh, well, I mean, if Canny said he doesn't have it, then I'm sure... I mean, he wouldn't lie to you, would he?
No,
No.
he wouldn't do that.
I tell you what. Why don't put that from your mind? Don't worry about the black orb. Let me deal with the black orb. I have a few skills that might be able to help us find it. Now, why don't you both come with me? I'll take you downstairs to the medical suite, and you can meet Magos Groose, and you can begin work. And I'll go and see if I can find the orb.
Thank you.
And she leads you and Dr. Pench. She takes your arm as well as she leads you downstairs to a very well-equipped, pristine medical facility. It's quite a large facility. There are about a dozen beds here, but there's only one that is occupied, and it is occupied with what appears to be a very naked Gaius Mortalis. But you can't help but notice that the top of his head is missing, and his face doesn't have any skin on it. It's just this metal skull.
Not bad, is it? That's not bad at all.
Well, that's what 250,000 thrones gets you round here, says Trantia.
So it's not 64.
It's not 64 million, it's 250,000. And the Magos enters, and the Magos is quite a large guy. He's like getting on for 8 foot tall with all his augmetics and what have you. And he blurts this greeting in binaric at you. This greeting of the Omnisire.
Returning kind, I guess.
Okay. And he says to you in binary, I have looked forward to meeting you. I have heard great things about you. I am excited to see how you perform.
Okay. Do I know this dude? I know him out character. But
Yeah, you've not met him in character before, no.
So I'll say, like, and you are, pretty much. But in more
Yeah.
lengthy binary, let's say.
He says, my name is Magos Grus. I am the head of cybernetic development at Pagni Tower. I am responsible for the creation, both on paper and in the physical, of every single component within Gaius's body. This has been a lifelong dream of mine to create a fully augmetic man, but I have been forbidden from doing so.
The Emperor forgives you your sins.
It gives you a strange look as you say that. It says, this is no sin. This is evolution.
Shall we begin?
I think we should. And then he turns to Pench. Pench looks a little yellow. And he's sweating a lot.
Good.
But his hands seem steady and his eyes seem clear.
Some spaghetti.
And he says, "And
Like
you
as
must
big
be."
as saucers, are they?
He says with his human voice now through a vox grill in his throat. Magos Grus says, "And you must be the physician, Pench." And Pench just says, "Killian's fine." And the Magos gestures towards the table where there are numerous surgical devices awaiting and a jar. And within the jar is the brain of Gaius Mortalis.
It's Gaius. That is Gaius. It's Gaius. He's a brain.
And it's going to take several hours to install this. I would like Vernetta, please, to make some rolls for me.
Identifies a brain.
Look you up just fine.
So you've got Medicaid as well, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to count that as you're going to be able to assist Pench. Because he's going to be doing the Medicaid thing, but you can assist him. And Magos Grus also assists, but he takes like a much more backseat role, telling you what to do. He doesn't actually get involved that much physically. And I would like you to make, for me, you're not going to make a Medicaid roll. You're going to give him +10. I would like you to make 2 tech use rolls at -20. Because this is a very complex procedure, and a trade armorer at -10.
Could we also please bring the medical skull that came back from Otto's body and use that to assist as well? Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine. So that would give you another +10 to that.
So two
To the medical roll,
tech
sorry.
uses. You say 2 tech use to the -20.
Yes.
Okay.
So this medical facility normally gives +30, but due to the complexity of this assignment, the Medicaid roll would be at a +10. But because you're helping and because of the servo skull, Pench is going to get a +30 like he should. Oh dear, Vernetta.
Well, give us a minute. So, let's say 2 tech use tests and what was the other one? Sorry, it was an armor smith, was it?
No.
Armor roll.
Yeah, armor smith.
-10.
Yes.
Let's have a look. Yes, can I use, please? I don't know how many points I've got, but at least on the tech use, we'll try for a reroll.
On the first one, yeah.
Well, yeah, I've got 2 fate points, so I use a fate point each.
Cool.
That's nearly there. Yeah, I'll just use a 1 on the first one, please, Dave.
Okie dokie.
So tech use at -20. Oh, sorry, mate. Tried.
I made it worse, Gaius. I made it worse.
Did you want to use the one on the second one as well?
I think that'll have to do. I think that's maybe close enough. So
I mean, you could also just give yourself a +10, couldn't you?
is that acceptable after the roll?
Yeah, this is a
Okay.
a big thing, so I don't mind that.
I'll do that then, Dave.
Okay, so yeah, I've got no objection to that, right? Okay, so that's your rolls done, and then Dr. Pench is going to make his rolls with his +20, thanks to you. Okay. At some point during this whole procedure, Gaius, you're blind and you're deaf. As your brain is removed from the jar, you know, you've had some sensory equipment in that little jar for a while, but there is this horrible moment where you just have no senses, and then things start to come online. And one of the first things that comes online is your hearing. And you hear the voice that you've got quite familiar with of Magos Grus, because the whole time that he's been building your body, you've been there with him. You said you were explicitly staying with him to watch him build it, and he began to speak to you, and he was telling you what he was doing and walking you through the steps of what he was building, and he seemed quite excited to share his knowledge with you. And you suddenly hear his voice, and he says, "You are indeed skilled, Dr. Pench. Impressive work on disconnecting the spinal column so neatly. Tell me, where did you study medicine?" And Dr. Pench says, St. Marie's, Hive Sibyllus, Scintilla. "Ah, of course, Doctor. I have heard of this place. What was your specialization, if you don't mind me asking?" Experimental pharmacology. "Interesting. And yet you are a skilled surgeon." Huh? What? Oh, yeah. That came later, out of necessity. I ended up conscripted, battlefield medic. Of course, you do a little surgery at school, but, it don't compare to stitching soldiers back together while getting shelled. Amazing. That explains something. The precision with which you rebuilt Vernetta's intestines and extracted Gaius's brain are exquisite, yet the sloppiness of your cosmetic repair to Vernetta's torso after the contact with the gene stealer is strange and conflicting. Huh? Oh, yeah, sure, whatever you say. Magos Grus peers at you, Vernetta. Then he turns his attention back to Pench. Experimental pharmacology. Combat drugs, mind-altering substances, the fun stuff. I see. And did you ever attempt any experimental pharmacological treatments for Miss Calamere's forced chemical dependency? What? No, it was a bit too far along when we met, weren't it, V?
I don't remember, Pench.
Grus peers between the two of you, back and forth. Fascinating. An experimental pharmacologist that does not experiment in order to improve the quality of life of a colleague, who sews up a ruptured abdomen like a drunk servitor, and yet can extract a human brain so perfectly it can be rigged to an MIU. I wonder, why did you never attempt a biological replacement for Miss Calamir's gastric system? Your employer clearly has the means. And he gestures at Gaius's body. Dr. Pench steps back and starts to take his gloves off as he finishes the last stitch. I think we're done here. And he begins to leave the medical facility. My apologies if I have caused offence. He turns to you, Vernetta. Was it something I said? And Gaius, with a burst of light and sound and a mixture of pain and pleasure, you awaken and you feel everything. And you feel strong. So very strong. What would you like to do, Gaius?
Hello, there, people. One second. One second. Just trying to figure out my voice box.
Take it slow. Full
Say
augmentation is a difficult thing for the mind to handle.
I would just move my hands, spin my hands round, look at things, scratch myself to see if I feel that.
You do.
And, yeah, so like tap something to see if I can feel that.
You feel that, and you didn't whatever it is you tap.
I didn't as well. Poor Mako Screws.
Do not worry, I can get a replacement for that particular table.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, this is fantastic. And then pull my head off like out of Robocop 2 when they can't find anybody to match.
And you just collapse. You just fall over. You've disconnected your brain. No, that would be silly.
It's the only way out. No, Gaius, we spent so much money on you, please.
Just throws himself out the window.
Just rejects it. Let me die.
Why won't you just let me die?
No, I'm gonna have a.
Gaius, you must serve still.
Can he fight?
Yeah. I'm not sure yet. I'm just gonna try and take a step.
It may take a few hours to get used to the balance. And as you step, Gaius, you realise what he says is right. You know, your body is heavier, but stronger as well. And it does take you a little bit of getting used to. He says, but I am confident by the end of the day you will be functioning fine.
Am I all metal at the moment?
No, your face, your head is metal, but the rest of you is Gaius flesh. Naked Gaius flesh, complete with Gaius dong.
Has anyone got any pants? Anyone?
Okay, I'm going to give him a look
robe,
and
dressing robe.
see if I can feel that. Do I feel it? Anything down there?
Yeah,
or
you feel everything. Everything feels not quite the same.
Just
as
as
it
small as it used to feel.
Yeah, your body doesn't feel in exactly the same way as it did before, but you are aware of touch and cold and heat and things like that. But it's
I'm a little bit confused about my Robo Dong.
yeah, it's going to take you a while to get used to it.
Gonna have to experiment that in Gaius time. The time for role playing that.
Some personal time.
Yeah. It's
right.
like, how's this thing work?
And I think that's a good point to end it.
Yeah,
Gaius
walking around.
Gaius lives.
Yeah.
That was funny.
What a ripping-
Just kills us. I mean, like, I won't, Let's live. Just let me die.
Just rip your head off.
It would have been quite funny, wouldn't it? Oh, well. Oh, well, what's next then? Your game, Alan? Tuesday.
Yeah.
I've got a game planned on Tuesday. I'm hoping everyone's still on for it. So
I
I'm
should be
pretty
alright
psyched
with
for
that.
it. So yeah, it should be good. I can't wait though.
I'll post some dates in the chat for various other games over the next day or two as well, and we'll figure it out from there.
Yeah, I've got a bit of time off in between Christmas and New
Oh,
Year's.
nice. Yeah, I've got a little bit until the start of the next year.
Hmm?
I've so if we can get a group of us together and do either of the games, I've just got to write up a bit off my last session. Won't take too long.
I might struggle over the next couple of weeks. I'll let you know. Because obviously I'm still at work and I've got family stuff to deal with and stuff like that. So
That's fair enough.
I'll let you know in the next couple of days when.
I'd like to get you two both at least on the next game though, of my one, both together.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I hope we can find a night. We'll see how it goes. So
yeah.
Yeah, I've like I say, I've got in between say Christmas, New Year's. I've got that off as a holiday, so I've got a bit of free time coming up. So